Oh, right. You know. Hi, Vera.
I'm driving. I'll be home in about 5 minutes to log into class. I'm sorry, a doctor's appointment ran late.
No problem. Thank you for letting me know. Drive safely. All right. Hi, everyone. Hi, Curtis. Hi, Andrea. Hi,
Hello.
Barbara. Second time today. So I hear the ash is pretty intense out there, huh?
I'm
It's
in
pretty bad
Carpinteria.
at
It's
my
not too
house.
bad.
Not Dubai and Carbonaria.
Not too bad.
So
And
someone,
I'm Galita, and it's
oh, yeah.
covering everything.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, so all my windows are closed just to keep it out.
Yeah, well, I'm in Argentina, obviously, but at home on the east side where I live, my husband was saying that the cars were, covered in ash. Everything is covered. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's gonna burn for a while.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it so happens that my husband and my youngest one just went up to Mammoth for the week. Yes.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh,
That's where I
really?
was. That it was gorgeous up there.
Yeah, you were there too. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where the rodent problem was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I walked in our house and it was like there's something dead.
Oh,
And
no.
there's something died in the walls.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it's awful when they
that
die in the
that
wall.
tends to happen, or in the attic, or under the house, or uh,
Yeah.
the unreachable. The attic is reachable, I guess, but but in the wall or under the house is our situation because we have a pretty hefty space under our house.
Hmm.
But again, it's reachable. It's the walls that are not reachable. So yeah.
Yeah. Ours wasn't reachable. I had a HEPA filter running. Hopefully it decays quickly and
Yeah.
goes away.
Yeah,
So they kind of dry
like
up
your
into
nose
something.
for about a week and then it's over. Ugh.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I not to continue with the topic that isn't too, but I always wonder when there's those big disasters, and and you can't find the people under mud or whatever, and it's like, well, at some point you'll figure it out. Ugh.
My husband was at the Miami-Dade condo collapse,
Oh no.
and he said it was just, he said he couldn't get that smell out of his brain.
Yeah, yeah. Because you can't reach it, right? It's under concrete and under rubble, and
Yeah.
they're there,
And
but you
it's
can't reach it.
hot
So,
and humid and
oh God,
gross.
oh God, oh God. There's nothing. It's probably nothing that can take that away.
Yeah.
No. Anyway, sorry to bring that one up, but hey.
On that
Okay.
note,
On that note, how about Illustrator? Okay. So I don't know what's happening today, you guys, but I have never had such a small morning class as I had today. And this is painting to be a pretty small class as well, unless a lot of people show up late. So I don't know what's happening today. Is it like fiesta drag or something?
The fiesta's done and over with. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite,
Oh, good. Did I miss Fiesta?
I know. I'm just wondering because it's
A
like,
good
okay.
time to leave town.
Yeah, my husband and I always try to leave town. We're not necessarily partiers, and it's like, okay, it's getting pretty intense out here. Um, but on the other hand, it's, people who have good time with it. I had a friend whose father was a flamenco dancer, and it was just, like the real thing. And, I just city gets crowded with crazy people. But yeah, I heard there was a shooting. Anyway, I'm about to share my screen while we talk about these things because I want to bring up none of these other wonderful subjects that we're talking about. I wanted to bring up the fall schedule that I should have by now let people know about, but I haven't. So letting you know that classes start in 2 weeks. Basically, this is our next,
Oh my God, really?
no, sorry, 3. Yeah, next week is the final week of class. Okay. So we have today and next week, and then we have 1 week break. So then it all starts again. Okay, so if you are going to sign up to any of these classes, consider signing up soon because they're being ridiculously strict, and they are absolutely closing down classes that don't fill up. Okay, so I'm going to send you guys an email. And just know that if you think you can maybe take it, just sign up. It just will help the class go. And even if later you have to kind of pop in and out and stuff like that, that's fine. I'll keep sending you the invitation that morning to sign in, but I understand that sometimes people can only do certain schedules or others. But yeah, don't wait to see if the class will run, because then the class doesn't. People go, oh, I was waiting to see if there's enough people. It was like, no, but that's the whole point. Sign in so that there's enough people, right? Anyway, so I've got 2 Photoshops going, but I just wanted to mention because the calendar for the last 2 years, last three years before, I was doing HyFlex classes. And then the last whole year, the room number 3 was being remodeled. So it was all online again. But now we're back to being able to do some HyFlex, which means that I'm taking, for example, I'm teaching 2 Photoshop classes, but it looks like 3, but it's just that one is online Fridays, right? 9 to 12:45. So as long as this is online, that's what it is. But whenever you see this double duty, that it's 2, 2 CRNs, and you see this whole thing, the same exact schedule, that's actually a HyFlex class. And what that means is I will be going to Wake number 3, teaching the class from there instead of sitting at my house like I am now. But you can either come to the Wake 3 and be in person with me, or you can be online, right? So it's HyFlex. I'll have most of the class tends to be had tended to be online up until a year ago. And then there's always some people who really prefer to be in person. But here's what I was going to say. If you sign up and you know that you're going to always be online, of course, choose the CRN that's online. If you sign up and you know you're going to be in person, choose a CRN that's in person, but it's the same course. Now, if one day you wake up and you go, today I'm going to stay online, my head hurts, you can do that. Or one day you go, today I'd like to go in person because I'd like her to see my computer. You can do that. It's interchangeable, You kind of sign up for the one you think you'll do most, but then you can just Mondays come in person, Wednesdays online, or whatever you want to do. It's okay. All right. So there's quite a few of those that are that way. All my Mac classes are that way. And one of my Photoshops, but I did still keep Illustrator and digital design on I kept them only online. I'm still trying to work into it. These classes are much more tiring to teach that way, and I can't have all of them that way. But anyway, thought I'd mention that. And then there's a class, create compelling content. Andrea, you might have taken this one eons ago. I'm not sure.
I think I did, but
Yeah, I have a feeling that you were one of the long ago takers of this class.
how has it changed?
Well, it hasn't changed in particular, in other than in that it changes because whoever attends that class, we work it into what people need. But it's basically it's instead of all of these Adobe programs, it's more like um, everything that's free available to work on creating content. Now, content, when people, now the word, this was created before talking about content creators meant YouTubers and stuff like that, or TikTokers. Really creating content is any content that you need. If you're making, a book, a calendar, a brochure, a website, you're planning any project, you need to create content for that. So what we're doing here is actually creating, how do you move the Illustrator tools to make that content? But are you making the right content? And that's the choice. That's the question about create compelling content, like analyzing a bit more what you're trying to create, kind of what you need to do before you start working with InDesign or Illustrator or Photoshop. Like what your product needs, what's the product you're creating, what's your audience, what are your buyers or your readers or whatever they are, and really begin to create text design images that really work for whoever you're trying to reach. And so that's really that conversation. And then I go through a lot of tools that exist to create content beyond these Adobe products that really work. I have lists of materials and stuff like that. So it tends to be a really fun class where everyone gets to bring in whatever projects they're up to, and those who weren't up to anything in particular end up having ideas, and we get to just kind of work on
Well,
making something happen.
how would AI fall into that?
That's exactly, that's the thing. I remember the last time we talked, I taught this class. We
That
actually
wasn't even a thing.
did a whole portion of it was about AI. So
Ah,
I will be actually updating that portion of the class. Again, there's the AI tools are in a way so new, but in like no time they've become humongous. And yeah, so not only the ethics of it or not, but also the ease of creating certain skeleton structures and then putting your creativity onto that. So yeah, that's going to be a pretty big part of it. And if I could change the description on this one, I would certainly at this point begin to talk about that. So we are revisiting some of the programs, and that one might need to have some description because it'll take up more and more of our life in the future. So yeah, so that I'm going to talk about AI in that one, definitely. Thanks for
I
asking.
wish I could. Well, I wish I could go to that. I'm out of the country those weeks.
Yeah, well, this one right now is showing up as in person, and what I always tell people, because long story, it doesn't have it's going through the system. It never got the right paperwork because during COVID, they didn't program it, so it never got the permit to be online. So then the COVID emergency ended and it still shows up as in person. So I can't technically do it anyway, but what I've been teaching it is for people who are in my classes. I still teach it high flex. So, but only people who know about that, right? Because otherwise they don't know. They think they need
So so I could sign up for it?
yeah, sign up for it, and then I'll
Um,
create a code and I'll let people know who are online. Now that has to be kept a little bit on the down low because it's
Right.
not
Okay.
very kosher, but it's unrealistic at this point to have a full class of people in person. It just doesn't happen anymore.
But
So
then if we're doing the high flex, how do you do the sign in?
I do it the way we do it here, that I use the Zoom records and the
Okay.
attendance in the chat. So by the way, everyone, please go into the chat. Andrea already did it. Head into the chat and give a little hey ho. That helps me later for attendance records. So yeah, and thanks for saying that, because that's the whole point. When people see it in person, they don't sign up. And thus it's really hard to fill it until I start telling everyone, hey, you guys, if you're the people who usually do this in not in person, online, then I'm fine starting a Zoom and doing it like I do all these other classes where I'm there with whoever's there, and then whoever's online is online, and we're all one big happy family. And then this one I'm going to teach for the first time this session. This is a class that Norma Egley used to teach, and Norma Egley passed away, but it fits right in with a lot of the stuff that I teach because I do all of the iPhone phone photos and all that kind of stuff. And so this is, handheld devices, Kindles, book readers, sound, iPad, iTouch. I don't know. So that's all. That one's a bit new to me. And right now it's showing up also as in person. And I think that's because Norma used to teach in person. And I was wondering whether to do that online. I'm going to see how many people sign up for that, because it might be more challenging for me since I haven't taught it. I mean, I taught it a long time ago and then she took it on. I don't know. High flex is much more complicated, and to start a class that I haven't taught in a while, high flex might be harder. But again, I'll be open to having someone say, hey, I want to take it, but I'm far away. My issue is that if people need to bring their stuff, and then they're having trouble with it, I can walk them through on their phones, but I can't walk them through talking through any of the rest because they aren't shareable. They can't share their screens when they're in trouble. So then I can't help them if they're saying, well, it's not working, the button isn't working, then I don't have a way to help them if it's online. So that's why I'm thinking this one really probably does need to be more in person. But anyway, So anyway, I'll send you guys a list of this. Please, mainly the request is share it. Tell people about these classes. Lots of people are buying the Mac for the first time and they're like people who knew computers and they go, I'm not going to take an intro class, but it's just that I'm teaching them how to handle their Macs. And very few people are ever new to computers. They're just kind of need to understand the operating system and, the iCloud and transfers material from device to device and that kind of stuff and handling all of the extra stuff and how do you clean up your device. It's that kind of stuff. So it's not like this is a mouse, it's not that kind of a class. So anyway, share it with people, please, once I send this information with you. And if you want to know more about anyone in particular, let me know. All right, so let's get going. Looks like today is a low attendance day for everyone. Oh,
Diane,
you're home. Hi. You made it back. Vera, hi again. Yes, Barbara?
you can tell the school I'm very unhappy with their little schedule booklet they put out. They don't have a page that I can fill in my classes. The
Stop.
this
Let me explain to you. They don't take paper anymore. They don't take paper submissions anymore. It's been canceled. So that's why there's no paper to fill in your class. It's not because it's on the booklet. As of last session, I believe, they don't take paper. You have to send in a PDF or sign up online. They just don't take paper anymore. There was a huge backlog and a lot of people would drop off the paper, think they were signed up, but they would have tons of hours of
Well, I make the
people to enter
paper
it.
out and I go in the office with it, usually.
And then they put it in online, but the paper they don't take paper anymore. So
Okay.
you need
Well,
to
that's
fill out the
why then.
PDF and print it out and bring it in, or just go in there and have him help you there in person. But the paper is a relic of the past. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm explaining that's why it's on the booklet. They just don't do that anymore. And we'll see. Sometimes things they take back and change again, but they didn't have, budget reductions and they don't have the manpower to get all that info in before the classes start. And then the class is full. And if you turn a paper, you thought you signed up and you didn't because the class now filled up before your name got put in, even though you turned it in 3 days ago. But someone else went online and just got in today because you know what I'm trying to say? So it was becoming
Right,
a bit of
yeah.
an issue. So
No, I just fill it out for myself.
yeah,
And then I go in and
yeah. Well,
put
what
it
you can
in.
do is you can print the papers that I attach to my emails or the PDF, just print out, 10 of them, and then that you got for 10 sessions worth of like for yourself, like you said, write it down and then go in and help. But yeah, that's a thing. So anyway,
I understand, thank you.
yeah, I don't know. At one year they stopped printing a catalog and that was a mess. So they started printing it again. So who knows? But yeah, that's it with the paper registrations. It's a goner. All right. Hi, Christina. Thanks for joining us. I'll have a small class today again, but the important people are there and that's you guys. So yay, we are all here and that's all that matters. So let me share my screen. And I want to take you to the Padlet. And let me give you guys the link to the Padlet because some of you guys put in some interesting stuff in there. And I'm going to put it in the chat. And there you go. Head over to the chat if you don't have any other way to get to the Padlet. And let me remind you that doing screenshots of your work and posting it in the Padlet is how I know that you're doing your work because I can't like see your work when you're there. And I need to know if you're doing your work in order to give you attendance, and attendance is important because then I can give you a pass. If I don't give you a pass, then the class is deemed to not be a very good class to keep teaching. So anyway, my request is if you can, please remember to post in the Padlet the classwork. Whether you do homework or not is up to you, but just the classwork, please post it on the Padlet while we're in class. And then there's the people who do homework. And so I'm going to start from the top down here. I see Curtis. I was very impressed. Wow, Curtis, look at that. That is the original. And this is your recreation of it, right?
Yeah.
Vice versa. The whole point is I don't, by not memorizing, that's how good it is that I can't tell. I'd have to go back to look at the original to see which one it was, but that's amazing. In particular, because you said that you made these palm trees by moving each path to create the leaves. Is that what you said? You wrote in here?
Yes.
So and I don't know how you did it this way, what I would have done is copy them and then
Oh,
take,
yeah.
like you make one really
One front and then
and then you copy
copy,
them and then you start like moving each one a little bit to make them move different. Okay, you did that. Okay, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
because otherwise, but then yeah, like over here you have like the third leaf is thick each time, and what you can go in there now with the A or direct selection tool, you can select this one and then just grab the little tips and move them a little bit in to the right, to the left, and then grab this, 4 or 5 little clicks here and there, and next thing you know, you have 3 different palm leaves out of the one. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So that gives you a bit more variety. That said, over here in the one that you copied, that is exactly the same leaf twice, maybe a bit bigger, a bit smaller, but you can see. And then that sawtooth there is different. So, that's just me. If I were to be doing something, I might just go a little bit further and move it on. But yeah, maybe the first one you could have done with one of those effects, right? Which kind of gives you that like crystallized tip, and then you can just move them around. But if you did them one by one, then congratulations. But also you manipulated the gradients really well. I haven't yet taught gradients in this class, but you seem to have known what to do and how to do it, because that's a very good job of gradients. I'm noticing the ocean here has a gradient. That's the only place where maybe you didn't put a gradient. But you did the sky and you did the
The
reflection, so
reflection.
to say.
Yeah.
Right? So the only place that looks a little bit off would be the ocean, because since this does have a gradient, then that probably should have one too. It's minor, and only because I'm looking at it, but no, I am quite impressed with what you did. And you're saying you drew the curve in linear beach was difficult with a pen tool, but I'm sorry that if difficult or not, you got it mastered. Now, practice makes it faster, right? But there's
Yeah.
definitely well done. And then kudos on that. And then Andrea, thanks for posting the width tool. And then Vera began to recreate the little houses. Okay, so this is the sample houses, and then she began to recreate them. So this is all stuff that she did right here. So nicely done. Again, you don't see these because they're on the other end over here that he was beginning to recreate. But yeah, I've seen them before, and look at that little tiny boat that you drew there. Oh, I can never make these too big. But look at your little boat on top of there and the little anchors and stuff. Nice. Now, you had a ball that you had to draw here, and you were wondering how to make that ball. So here you asked about the ball. You made this ball and you asked me, it doesn't look very ballish. How can I improve it? And so I gave you some suggestions here. Basically, the original one over here has this little ball there, right? So I looked at it a bit closer, and okay, I opened it where I can go up closer. And if you notice, and it's a bit hard to make it bigger without, and see, come on. I can't make things bigger without them disappearing, but if you look at it, the center of the white thing is a bit off center, so the 3 triangles are a bit different size instead of centered. But then notice that these are not straight lines. They're just a little bit curvy. And it's that just a little bit curvy that makes you look at it as a ball. Now it's so tiny, it's not like the perfect ball, there's no shine or whatever on it, but it's just too tiny for those details. But that enough gives you more of a round thing. So I would say that if you off center that, and then just kind of grab these little lines with your A or selection tool, and just instead of making them straight triangles, make them a little bit curvy. That much of a curve, that's what it takes to give you that sense of being round. Same thing with this here, for example, these lines, which is just a circle, but if you really pay attention to these lines, they're probably not exactly straight. Maybe they're just a teensy bit curvy to show that they're going around like a little donut shaped or rubber ring, versus this one doesn't have that, and it looks flat, right? I mean, it has a little shine, but it kind of looks flat because it is flat, versus this one, because of that teensy bit not straight of a line, gives you more of an impression of curvy. So yeah, if you think you can handle that, good. And if you want help with that, you can just pull it up and we can try to work on that. But yeah, and I'm seeing that yours aren't necessarily big, chunky straight lines, because the tips are rounded, so to say, here. But the line I'm talking about that needs to be rounded is this one, like just gently curved outward, to have it be following the curve. Does that,
Yes,
um,
yes, I'll
got
try
it?
that on my own. Yeah,
Okay,
I will.
cool,
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you. Good tips.
And then everyone else just posting the classwork, so that's great. Thanks for doing that. And unless there's any questions, let's keep going. No, the rest is the classwork, right? No other questions. I always try to go with questions, and other than I answered this one a while ago, but the rest, this one I just saw today. Okay, no other questions. All right, let's head over to Illustrator. Any questions in person, by the way, that you guys might have, other than what you wrote there, but you were trying
Yes,
to.
I have one.
Yeah.
The grid behind the artboards. I got it on there and now I can't get rid of it. And
Okay,
I
so
went to window, no, view.
yeah, view, show transparency grid or hide transparency grid. And it's
Right.
there right now, it's grayed out.
So it's not guides. It's transparency grid.
Well, when you said grid, the grid, is it, do you have one? Let
It's
me
gray and
I
white.
have some.
Or a
Yeah,
high grid.
let me just open a file, and then a new file. Let me just go with whatever create. Are you talking about this one? That? Is that what you call a grid?
Yeah, it looks like graph paper.
Yeah. Well, why don't you show me there's different kinds of grids, and maybe you're talking about a different one. Can you share your screen for a second?
Okay.
So Moni, if you need help with VDI, let me know. But yeah, so everyone else, can you all go to the chat? If you're here, give me a little hey ho. I think Barbara, you need to give me a little something in there. And who else? Christina, can you go to the chat and give me a little? Okay, so this is a different grid. Okay. So this one, yeah, that's why I was like, no, that's not the same one. When you said grid, that's what got me the, so that one is, yeah, that is, you are showing the grid. You need to go to view again, go to view. And then go all the way down, and it's much lower, and you can choose the height grid. Hold on. Yeah, one down, one under. Hide grid.
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. Thank you.
There's your grid that you hide. Yeah. And it's very useful for when you're doing, very technical mandala type things that have to be very precise. But yeah, you really don't need the grid for this.
I
So
just wanted it to help me out with these little lines.
I
These, I'll confess, are eyeballed because I couldn't remember to use the alignment tool.
okay.
So
Well, yeah, that's true. The alignment tool would have been great. Or, and let me show you a quicker way around that. Let me actually stop your share and do this. So I'm just opening, guys, just to practice what she's asking. So just open any old blank page, and I'm just gonna have you guys, I'm gonna show something, and then you guys can do it just for practice. And then we'll move on to today's class. But yeah, so say that you just made a little line like that, right? And I'm going to make it have no stroke and make it a deeper color so you can all see it really well. No stroke, sorry. And then a deeper fill so we can see it really well. And then I'm going to zoom in. Okay. So say that you didn't do the alignment tools, right? Say that all you had was your guessing game. you can still do something. So if this is the line, let me, I have to make it a little bit bigger so you guys can see it well as a sample, but, am I? Okay, so then you make one command drag, right? So that you have, sorry, not command, option or alt drag. And you hold down your shift key so it doesn't like move around too much. So it can only be done the same direction. You drop it wherever you drop it, right? Then you select both of those. And then also with the command or option key, the alt or option key, you drag that and you wait until you see the pink lines telling you that you dropped it in the right spot. Then you grab all four and then you drag. And next thing you know, without many alignment tools, this is exactly right. Just because you did that copy thing. Okay, so I'm going to show you this again. You've got one. Option or alt, you drag a new one out, right? And you leave it however far you want to leave it. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Then, if I were to still try to keep doing that, eyeballing it, I might hit it, I might not hit it in the right spot. But the whole point is I have two done. Now I select two and I do my option alt and I drag out. And then, yeah, the pink, those little pink smart guides will help me drop it at exactly the right spot. When they say that I'm there, right? I let go. So now these are perfectly aligned, and then it's easy to grab all four, and in no time, with 3 movements, boom, now I have 8. If I were to grab these 8 now in no time, I'll have 16.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Next thing I know, I've created a absolutely exact perfect pattern with like what, three movements, right? So did everyone try that out? This is a really good skill, so give that a try. And you can do it with anything. You can do it like, you have a little box and you want to make a perfect little grid pattern, right? So then you've got one only and that's all you have. So then you hold down the option key and you drag another one and you leave it somewhere, right? And then you drag 2 of those and you drag them out and you leave that somewhere. I left them. And then you grab those 4 and you drag it out and you leave it somewhere. And this is actually something that I was about to have you do today because we're going to be doing colors. And then you grab those and you drag that out. And next thing you know, boom, now you have, this is really useful for different patterns and shapes beyond selecting them all and getting them all gridded up and aligned and all that, which might be more complicated. Okay. So if you give that a try and it worked, give me a yes. If not, if you want a hand on getting that. Now this one's becoming a little bit harder to place in the distance because my pink guys are trying to align to the green ones instead of to the ones that are above it. But anyway, once you have 2, then it becomes easier because then they see what it's happening. See my smart guide is trying to intersect with that instead of with that, and that's why it's becoming a little bit harder. But because I'm just doing you just go do it on a different page and then or a different section, and then you'll be fine. Okay. You can also, if you're not sure if it's working, you can go over here to the alignment tools and now make sure that you distribute the spacing and the no, that was wrong. Let me undo that. Come on, Command Z. Why are you not undoing? Command Z, Command Z, Command Z, there. You can use these. This is the distribute objects. Oh, because I didn't do the center. Yeah, I think you have to do it to one line first and then drag it around, that you can't really do it to the whole thing. Yeah, because then you have everything is centered off. You need to do it to the individual lines. Okay. So Christina, you joined us well after I was working on the work that people did on Padlet. Do you have any questions before I keep going? Anything that came up or anything that you need? Or should I keep going?
I'm just making the 4 bars right now,
Okay.
multiplying them. But to get them aligned, don't you have to have the pink
Yeah.
after you? You have to have the pink centered so that you're just bringing it down perfectly.
Yeah, so let me go to a different spot. I didn't,
There.
I have the smart guides turned on, so just make sure that your smart guides are turned on. If they're turned on, if I have a check mark on it, then they're turned on. Then when you create one thing, then you go to your selection tool. Then the moment I create another one, the smart guides turn on, see? That they just need to be turned on as a feature. If you don't see them, they might be turned off. You might have selected it and then you've turned it off. So then you go and need to select it again to get it to turn on again. Then, yeah, you can leave it at any distance. And then when I select two, when I go make my other copy, it's going to tell me, boom, there you are. And there we go. Now I have 4 equally aligned lines based on the combination of just the drag, copy, drag, and the smart guides. But I do want to remind one portion though. If I grab this and just hold on the Alt and Option and copy it here, right? The first one, I might not be aligning it exactly where that one is. Like I might leave it over there or something. So also try to wait for that centering one, right? To make sure that it's exactly right. But another way to make sure that it comes out exactly right without having to wait for the smart guide is if the moment you're pulling it out, now you're also going to hold on to the shift key, because with the shift key pressed down, so now I have the Option Alt and the shift key, then it just doesn't let you go off. It's kind of like forces it to be exactly in the right spot. So you don't, like it doesn't give you an option. You can't move it. If you try it, you'll see it. It'll just be like, no, I'm staying right here, because the shift key always constrains, right? So now you know that they are right aligned to each other. So now I'm going to do my second set. And if I hold my shift key down, see, even if I try to drop it right there, now I'm going to press shift and boom, see how it just, this is like the moment I do shift, it forces itself to be in that line. And then I move it up and down until I see the double arrows. Then I let go of my mouse and there we go, right? So the shift key constrains that centering. And then I do like that. And then when I get the double arrow, boom, in no time, I've got my whatever, however many sets I wanted. So the shift key helps constrain something to become the same exact spot, okay? So try that shift key thing, everyone. And if you did do a couple of these, even though it wasn't necessarily today's assignment, it would be great to put it in. And then now I'm going to try to align it to this artboard. But look what's happening to the smart guide. Is it aligning to the artboard or is it heading over to the pink and the green that I have next to it? You see that smart guide, how it's pulling over? So if I'm moving this up and down and I'm trying to center it into this artboard, but my smart guides are trying to tell me when it's hitting that one. You see, look at the smart guide. See how they pull out to the whole other artboard you see over there? It's telling you that that line is right. The space between those two lines is right centered between those two pink ones. You have to see what it's telling you. And that's like, well, that's useless to me. And I'm going to move it up higher. It's like, oh yeah, your top one is aligned to that. So you need to make sure that your smart guides are aligning to the artboard that you're trying to align to, right? And so now I've got my vertical and horizontal center point of the artboard. And I just waited till I got the right pink lines and now I let go. And now I know that I've got it in exactly the right spacing in the middle of this board. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
The pink lines appear all over the place. You need to wait and see the ones that make sense to you. This is like pink, pink, pink. Let me wait until I see the ones that are telling me what I need. And that makes sense now. Okay. All right, cool. So let's keep this file open to just do little tests or things as people ask questions. I'm going to save it and I'm going to call this one just, more practice. And in general, we're going to be using one. I like having one available for just stuff that we work on. And say save so I can come back in when people ask me things to do stuff. But other than that, I wanted to talk a little bit. I'm not going to bring too much AI into this class. I am bringing it into Photoshop. There is a place for AI in Photoshop when it has to do with retouching and stuff like that, that it's doing some amazing things. I don't believe in AI to create an image for you that doesn't exist, which is why I'm having a little bit of a harder time with Illustrator AI, because Illustrator is where we create stuff from scratch, right? And so basically you can have Illustrator generate a whole vector from scratch, and then was it really your art or not your art? I don't know. If you're just doing logos for your website to have a good button to press on for contact or whatever, I don't care if AI did it or if you did it. But if you're creating something that is, a artwork, then I have more of an issue with AI. So, whatnot. The whole point is that here in this contextual tool, you have a tool here called generate vectors. So let's start a new file. Let's say file new. Let's leave this one as a place where we play other stuff. Let's file new. Again, let's go with that good old custom 5x5 4 artboards that I like to start with because it's got enough place for us to play. And then let's save it already, and let's call this one AI generate or something like that, or generate AI, or just let's call it AI. So AI is confused with Adobe Illustrator, so maybe you want to call it artificial intelligence generative tools or whatever, AI generative tools. Basically, this is all the same kind of thing. And let's say save. And I just want to show you a rather quick one on a blank place, which isn't really, it's kind of better to give it some context or whatever. But I'm just going to go over here, and do you all have your contextual toolbar? If for chance you don't see it under window, you'd have to go find it over there, contextual taskbar. If the check mark isn't on, click on it to bring it on, and here it is. So now I'm going to just click on generate, and I'm not, before you even click on it, you can see a little video that tells you a bit about it. So did you see how it wrote? The prompt is what matters. So over there, let me see if I can get the prompt. It said, describe the graphic, and they wrote, woman with short hair, mountain sky scene, and glasses. And boom, this got created. But then there's 3 versions always. Now, just so you know, the style, not the style, the generated, each generation costs you a credit point. That's what I'm trying to explain. What do you mean it costs you a credit point? Yes, you are limited in the accounts that we have is very generous because it's the full Creative Cloud, and you are allowed 1,000 generative credits a month. So 1,000 is a lot, and unless you're really creating everything for free, but they don't roll over, the next month they start again. So how do you know what is the next month? What are you talking about? So let me share my entire screen for a second. And over here I have the Adobe Creative Cloud app. If you don't have it there, then just go to your applications finder and search for the Adobe Creative Cloud app. There it is. If you're in a Mac, if you're in a PC, and then double click on it. That's the Adobe Creative Cloud. That's the one that kind of contains your whole account and whether you've updated or not. And it looks like I have an update available. Oh, look at that. I have an update available for Illustrator, which I'm not going to do right now because I'm in the middle of teaching. But once you open your Creative Cloud app, this like little Pac-Man, so to say, is your account. And here it tells you view your generative AI balance. And it's not like I have 1,000 for Illustrator, 1,000 for Photoshop, 1,000 for video. It's 1,000 total for my whole account. So when I click on that, it's gonna tell me, it's gonna take me to my Adobe account. And it basically, I have 994 credits out of 1,000 left. This is just from demoing it for the Photoshop people the other day, and it'll reset next August 25th. So basically I have, 20 days now. to use 994 credits. And this is where I can use these apps for, okay? So depending on your account, what you have, but you probably all have the same student account, that's where you would check on that. I believe.
Deanna,
you
can I ask?
one more.
So
What's that?
I have the student one and it shows I have 4,000 credit.
Whoa,
I know. I'm gonna play.
that's the premium features.
Yeah, but I pay the student.
Wow, how
Hey,
about
I'm not gonna
guys?
argue.
No, no, definitely don't, but that's surprising. Because the premium features gives you more. Here it's how many credits it take per generation. For video takes up a lot. So if you do, but yeah, if you have 4,000, I don't know how you got that, but hey, as
I'm
you
not gonna
said,
argue.
and oh, enjoy. But tell me, when does it end? Go ahead and check when it ends if it renews 4,000 as well, because they don't technically roll over. So that means you probably have, and you got it through the FCCC, the whole thing that I teach
Yeah.
in account. How about the rest of you guys? Do you have 1,000 or 4,000?
I have 1,000 and mine says premium features. You don't have access to premium
Yeah,
features. You can
like mine.
contact your
How
admin to
did you
request that.
find that?
Okay, so I went to the Creative Cloud app. So if you can't find it, go to your Spotlight search and write Creative Cloud app. Oh, not Creatives, Creative Cloud. It's the Creative Cloud app. Or go to your Finder applications and open the Creative Cloud app, and that's this app. And it tells you this is where you check for updates. This is where you see what your plan is. And so, and it just like it's telling you your Adobe fonts. I was talking a little bit about this the other day in class.
I don't know how to get there either.
What's that? The
I,
Creative
I
Cloud.
don't know how to.
Share your screen. I'll show you how to do a search. You have the Creative Cloud app installed if you have the other apps installed. It just comes with the whole package. So go to your applications. Here's your applications. Go in there. Oh, there you go. Adobe Creative Cloud. Click on Adobe Creative Cloud right there on your third column.
Right.
Go over there in your third column. Yeah. And then there's your app, the top one.
But how did you get to
Double click
where you were?
Double open the app and I'll show you. Open the app. Double click on that to open the Adobe Creative Cloud app. Here we go. Now, in this Adobe Creative Cloud app, right top right little circle, that's you control your account from there. Okay.
Okay.
Click on that.
So I click on that.
Yeah, and then it'll tell you view your generative AI balance. Here it is. And now it'll, I guess it doesn't recognize you, so confirm that you are you. It'll probably tell you to go register at City College and just sign in your password or something. It'll probably take you to, no, there it is. Okay, and here it tells you, you have 4,000, look at you. You have
Where is,
4,000.
oh, right there.
Some people have 4,000 and how people have 1,000. I would like as a teacher to have 4,000 because I want to share more of this. But anyway.
Sorry, Deanna. I
I'm
need help.
gonna say, it says next reset, August 18th. What does it do on the next reset?
Because if you use up and you're down to 300 by August 18th, you'll have 4,000 again. You haven't used any. You have 4,000 out of 4,000. By the time you get to August 17th, if you haven't used 4,000 by August 18th, you'll have 4,000 again. But if you've used 1,000 of them, it goes and it resets itself to 4,000. You basically have 4,000, which is weird because when you look at all the information, it says that we have 1,000. So I don't know why you and Andrea have been touched by the generative generative AI gods, but you have. So like Andrea said, go play. Right?
Maybe because I got it through school.
No, she got it through school too. I got it through school. Well, I mean, I got it through school.
I got it through
am
school.
a bit different because I use the actual school account. I haven't even had to pay what you guys paid, but then a lot of other people have in my Photoshop class, most people, then they checked they had 1,000. I don't know, Curtis or Vera, did you guys check? Moni? Do you guys have 1,000?
Deanna, can you look at my screen? I didn't find it at all.
Okay,
I
go ahead
meant
and
to
share your screen, yeah.
I have 999 left.
Okay, so you're like me, you
Yeah.
didn't choose 3,000, so you
No.
must have had 1,000, yeah. Okay, so over here at the very top, right, oh, you scroll down, scroll up again, you just lost it. Scroll, you had it here and then you went down, it's higher. You need to scroll, you did something that you went, it went up high. You need to move it down again. I was seeing it and then it's gone, so it's out of reach, it's up there, so you need to do whatever you did back there. Keep going down, there it is, that little circle there. That's your account. Where did you do?
the whole screen disappeared.
It's
think
like you open,
Illustrator just reopened itself.
yeah, so go back and open, go to your dock and open again the Creative Cloud. There we go. And click on that little circle.
This here.
Yeah. And then view your generative AI balance.
So
It
what is a
opens-
credit? So if I
It-
copied a peach, would that take up 1 credit? 1,000 credits?
We'll do some and you'll find out. Hold on. You have 1,000, okay? So yeah, I don't know why, 3 of us have 1,000 and 2 of you guys have 4,000. I do not know. But basically that means you can try 1,000 times to generate something with AI. Now, some things count as generative credit, some things don't. But the one that I'm going to show you right now counts as a generative credit, but you get 3, keep this open if you want, and then after we do some, you can come and see and look at your number and we'll see how many you've used up. But basically, let me stop your share. I'm going to share mine. And here I go. Okay, so my Creative Cloud, which said that if I wonder if I say manage account, if it shows right there. No, it takes me there again.
What's Adobe Firefly?
That Adobe Firefly is the program. I don't think I'm sharing all my screens, am I? No, I was missing one here. Adobe Firefly is the tool that is creating all this generative stuff. So Adobe Firefly overview, right now I have it there. So basically it's, since I'm in Argentina, it tells me this isn't where you shouldn't be here. It's where it's the generative AI app, so to say, of Adobe, but then they insert the features into each program, but you could just use only the generative app itself. But I don't know if our educational account
That
allows you
doesn't
to
show
use
up that I
Firefly.
have
Yeah, there it
that.
is, Adobe Firefly. So we can use Adobe Firefly in the educational account. Yeah, and so it's basically the tool that they're using, but then they develop the tools in here and then they put them inside of Photoshop, has a ton, Illustrator has a ton. So it just teaches you much about it. Yeah, in video, it's amazing. They can generate video, but video just eats up, like half a second is like tons of credits, right? But you can have it translate your audio, you can generate sounds. I mean, it's pretty, but this is the one that Illustrator uses. So anyway, let's go back to Illustrator. And let's try it out. I'm going to zoom into one page right here. And I'm going to click on generate vectors. Okay, right there. And this little box pops up. Now, I can use some of these things as inspiration to if I want a style or a type, but mostly hover over these for a second, and what is written is the prompt that they use to create that. It says, an orb glowing with the natural spirit. Boom, they got that. Vintage bicycle with a woven basket and retro style frame. Boom, they got that. Okay, so it's giving you an example of what kind of prompts you want to write. Majestic horse in a full gallop, bold lines, dynamic.
Lost
They got that.
everything.
So what you write, if you say bird, you'll just get bird. If you say, you know, exotic bird in a jungle setting with tones of yellow, you know, I mean, whatever, feathers, long tail. If the more descriptive you are, the more it'll try to fit whatever you're doing. Versus if you just say magnifying glass, you get magnifying glass. Does that make sense? And sometimes, to me, that makes most sense to have just little icons that are going to be part of my site or whatever. That's probably all I need. But if I create this hot air balloon in a steampunk sky, okay, but then that's not my art. So yeah, I'm kind of, I question and torn about that.
Music.
Circling in a whimsical circus, retro flat graphic. Boom, they got that. So that's pretty impressive. So anyway, I'll let you guys, you can turn this on to get some prompt suggestions. Right? Toggle the
Okay.
button on. So now when I describe the vector graphic you want to generate, go ahead and click in there and let's write something. And I don't know what I'm gonna write, but I don't know, I'll try it long-tailed, feathered bird in a colorful jungle setting, since that's the example I gave you guys when we were talking. Now notice that that's the bird, but then I'm getting a prompt here that I might want to talk about the background. So, oh, okay, so it looks like I was missing some background, so maybe I'm going to say, I like that with a reflection on the water. Water. So I don't know. When I'm done writing something, then I can generate. But I could also give it a reference to what styles I want, what kind of things I want. But right now, let's just write one thing. On the water. I can talk about the light, like soft focus, blurred sunlight, or wildlife and wildlife photography. Or here it says, copy space to write text, so it can give you an idea of where to write something. If it's going to be a logo, maybe I can add to be used as a logo. I mean, I don't know. You get to the point. I'm just going to stop at water. And you can say fantasy or realistic, or, you know, I just said colorful. All right, so I'm going to hit generate down here at the bottom. And so the computer, oh, create a rectangle first to define the size of your generated graphic. I didn't do that, so they're giving me a tip. Creating a box for it to fit into would have been fine. Okay. And this is the bird it gave me. Now, before I take too much longer to think about it, look over here and notice that it gives you 3 versions. It's 1 credit. It's still the same credit to look at 3 versions. So I've got this version, and that version. See over here, variations, but it's still 1 credit, all 3 of these. So
How do you create, how do you draw the box?
you could have just created a text frame for it. I didn't. Just go to the rectangle and create a box, and then select that box and then ask for it, and the whole scene will fit in that box.
So you have to do that before you collect.
I
You
didn't.
say great.
I didn't, but if you do, had you made a circle that would fit inside of a circle? I didn't, but they gave a tip, like, so to give them an idea of what you want. This is a 5x5 page, so they gave me a thing that fit in the 5x5. Had I wanted to be 1x1, then they would have made it fit in 1x1. I don't know. So of these 3, I
I'm still
look at
not
them,
getting.
and if I was hoping for something standalone like this, then there you go, right? If the standalone isn't what I wanted, then I did ask for a whole jungle setting with a reflection in the water. So, you know, given that, I think the 3rd one is the one right now that might seem the most appropriate, but do I really want it its back, or do I want its side? I kind of like this one on the side. I'm gonna go with number 2. I'm gonna look at I like the leaves of the background, because then I can play around with that, right? And then I can, if I don't like either, I can just generate again. The next generation will be a whole nother choice. Now I can adjust the details of my graphic, like I can click over here and I can say, well, I want, hold on, I'm gonna wait until you guys generate something and then I'm gonna show.
Cartoons.
Generate something. Once you've generated something, give me a yes, and then even if you love it, hate it, just stick with it. I'm gonna show you what the other choices are within this that they give you, the automatic choices, okay? So give me a yes once you have something you've generated, and then I definitely want to see what you guys have generated, but did you write something, Vera? Did you write something, Barbara, Andrea? Do you have one thing generated yet?
I have a picture on the screen.
Okay. Andrea, Moni, I'm not sure how well the generative AI is going to work
With a
on.
million blue
VDI.
dots on it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would-
trying it.
I would like to know if it works on VDI. Right. For those of you who already finished it, I'll repeat this later. Both in the contextual taskbar or in the properties, there's some little icons right there. And these are things that you can do to modify. First, you choose the ones you want. You can also train it. See, here's like a thumbs up, thumbs down, where you can tell it, I like that, I don't like that. And it kind of starts to learn your style, what you like. I'm not going to go thumbs up or thumbs down. I'm just going to go to these three little icons, which I can find over there or I can find over here. And what I can do is I can, I'm going to click on that. And it's giving me, okay, scene, subject, and icon. Now, do I want more or less? And this is still within that same generation, okay? My subject, do I want more detail? And I'm going to just drag it up a little bit and it's going to give me more detail. Do I want maximum detail on my icon? Do I want more detail? So I'm just going to go ahead and maximize everything on my scene. Do I want more detail? And then when you do that, it would change. Yeah, Moni?
Just giving you feedback. I did it twice and it gave me just very general results, even
Okay.
though I was very specific.
Yeah, so this fits
That's
into what
weird.
I asked though, so it doesn't seem wrong, but like what did you ask for when you say general?
Oh, the first one I asked for a family of 4 snowmen. I can't remember what I said. Anyway, and it gave me 3 and very just like
Yeah,
just a drawing. And then the second one I did close up of I wanted to do Santa Barbara Beach and
okay.
joyful colors. I wanted sand, sandmen and sandwomen.
Oh, okay.
And it gave me 2 women on a beach.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm not sure exactly how intelligent these things are. I've always gotten the results kind of like this. This is about the kind of results as I got. They say the prompts are really important. I haven't played with it enough to know what's a better way to write in the prompt, right? And there's a lot of reading that I could do up on it, but since it's not something I'm totally interested in, I'm doing it at a minimum basis just to be able to show it to you guys, but I should do more of it so that I can begin to have a bit more of a feedback to give you around that. I'm just going to show you the tools and then maybe we can all gather next week and you can tell me, well, I found this out, I found that out. And that would be good. Here, the choice of style reference might be helpful. What if you have an asset, you have something that has a style that you want? I'm going to click on choose asset. Where was it? No reference style. I don't have, I had done this the other day. I dragged, see if I drag it around the bird or something like that. But I don't have a style. I need to have another one, which I don't have here, to put in here. Add your own asset. but I don't have one right now. I don't have any style. I don't have any other vectors. I didn't think about this sample. You need to have other vectors of a style that you like to give it an example of what you want. Let me just continue with effects over here. Maybe I want it to be in one of these styles, like much more clean lined or much more detailed, or I want it to be minimalist or stuff like that. So say that I want a doodle right now, and I'm going to click on doodle, that kind of thing. Then then I have to click generate again, right? To give it an idea of what to do. So now I told it to go much more detailed in the scene, much more detail in the subject, much more in the icon. I told it to, on the effects, I told it to doodle. Good. Now I can go to the settings and I can choose color and tone. Here we go. I'm gonna click on color and tone, and I can tell it number of colors. I want it to be 10 colors or 30 colors, or I can specify I want it to be in a certain palette. So I would bring in a palette that right now, this is kind of boring because this is all I have, but what if I wanted in tones of, I want some more pinks in there that I don't have otherwise. I'm just gonna hold on. Pink, I'm gonna give it another color. And I'm gonna give it these, like, I want some bright green colors, for example, which it might already be giving me, but I want I want it to focus on these oranges and all these guys. So that's an example, right? Color presets. I could choose one. I'm gonna have vibrant color on mine, et cetera, et cetera. So you can keep making choices, and within all of that, when you're finally ready to go and you generate, it might change it. You can use one of these that it's giving you here as style samples. I'm gonna go with this styles. Oh, not that. I didn't want to generate that. I wanted my generation. Oof, I shouldn't have clicked on that. Let me cancel. I wanted this variation. I wanted this to change. Color and tone. I gotta do the colors again. So let me just choose a couple of biggies here. So that's kind of, oh, I have to plus each time. Okay, plus. So basically right now it's got black and blue and a bunch of other colors, and what I'm
Opened
telling
in
it is to
Photoshop.
stick with just the bright ones. I'm basically, might mess it up by saying this, but I'm gonna give it a try to just have these bright colors. So, all right, so now I'm gonna back out and say generate again, okay? I didn't give it a style reference. I just want more detail is mainly what I told it. Okay, so now I'm gonna say generate. And let's see what it gives me next. Now it's not gonna lose the first three, so I don't need to worry about that. I told it I wanted doodle style, but then I asked it for colors. And I restricted its colors to a very limited palette. You see that? So by doing that, it gave me something very different than what it gave me first, but maybe this is more like what I wanted. Now, it does not have that whole jungle request that I had, but that's probably because I limited its palette, right? So say that I like this one, then I can go to these three little dots and I can tell it, oh, if I need to move this over. Hold on, let me move it in. These three little dots on this one, if that's the one I chose, I can click on that and I can say, well, I generate another one of those, give me a variation, or that was a bad result. They want us to train it also to see what we like. Now I can go back to this one. If this is one I like before, I can go back to this one. Basically, I've done 2 generations now. If I go to my Creative Cloud and look at my account, I should be down 2 generations from what I was before. Let's see if that's true. I don't know how quickly they charge you for the things. 992, yeah, I'm down. Oh God, I don't remember how much I was before. I was at 994, yeah, 902. So that was two generations that I just did, and I got 6 results, okay? Anyway, I see a hand there, Moni. Um,
Sorry, that's an old one.
oh, okay. So I didn't change my prompt at all. All I did was restrict its colors and look at what a different result I got. So clearly there's a lot of play. I still had it asking for a reflection, so it gave me a reflection. It forgot that I was in the jungle. I can go back to this one and ask for more. I had asked for more detail and I don't know, but then I told it to do doodle style. So doodle style might not be very detailed. You can keep going on and on and on. Right now, if you like it, if you don't like it, I'm just gonna go ahead and say that this one is done. The scene, I didn't get much scene. Anyway, I'm gonna say done, and that's it. Okay, so now if I click on it, I still can keep working on it. But if I'm done, I'm done. Just wanted to bring this up as something that's out there, that exists, that you can, I can switch it back to this one or to this one or to this one or to this one or to that one at any moment. I can also tell it, no, I really don't like this one. And I can right click on this one and just delete this variation because I know I'll never want it. I don't want it at all. It's another blah. And just delete that one. And that's okay. It's just one variation less. I don't get charged less. I don't get like returned credits for anything. I'm just like, I'm never going to use that one. Go ahead and delete it. But other than that, there you go. I can go back to, I think these are my two favorites. I can make it bigger or smaller. By the way, always hold the shift key to keep it constrained since it's vector graphic. It doesn't. And then within that, it's a group. I can then choose to start editing it and adapting it for my own self, grab more of these leaves, make more of them, whatever I want. Okay. Now this little thing that appears over here is to remind you that this is a generated object, right? When I select it or deselect it, that's what it is. And if I actually click on it again, it goes into like that isolation of the generated object. I'll just double click again and double click again, and double click again. And I basically, I can go in there and change the color myself. So now it acts like anything. Now I gave it a bright pink, which doesn't really look good on it, but like from now on, it works as any other thing. You just start using and doing whatever you want with it. Okay. All right. Let me clear your answers and then now give me a yes if you played around and you
How do
got,
you bring up your
Yeah.
tools on the
What's that?
left?
what?
How do you bring up all your tools that are on the left?
Oh, the other day someone couldn't see them all, so I showed them that this little double-headed arrow that's at the very top right there. It's
I
hard.
don't even have that.
Well, I'm gonna help you. And then so you wanted to not bring them up, you wanted to just even see your tools?
Yeah.
Okay, go up to Window, Arrange, not Arrange, Workspace, and if you're in Essentials, Reset Essentials.
Okay.
And let me-
Okay, I got them. Thanks.
Now, since I reset them, I lost some of those choices that I had made last week, that I had some stuff in here that I liked because I reset them. So once you like the way you have your setup, you don't want to reset all the time because now I've lost like some of the stuff that I had here. Like I like having my labels over there and all that. But when you lose everything, that's a good thing to do, to reset them so that you kind of go back to zero and then you just restart choosing all your stuff again. Okay. All right. How are we doing there? Give me a yes if at this point here, I'm going to point you to the fact that you can learn much more about this yourself. You can go into the generative stuff and you can click on where it says learn. You click on the generate vectors and where is the place where it says learn? I think generative user guidelines, Adobe help, all of that stuff in these three dots, and it'll basically tell you to this page and you can start reading about it and playing around. There's so many videos. There's so much stuff about generating. And I followed a few of the tutorials. It just hasn't interested me enough to really get deeply into it. I know I need to because people are asking about it. But anyway, right now I'm just gonna, that's kind of a basic generation. And then other than that, you can read more about it. And, you know, I would really appreciate you guys coming back next week and telling me, oh, I tried this and it really worked, and giving me some examples. That would be awesome. I have set up a couple webinars that I'm going to attend. But anyway, that's the extent of generate videos, generative fill. In Photoshop, you can just have that photo and turn out with that. In Photoshop, I've been doing much more generative effects, but I haven't yet done it much in Illustrator. Okay, I've been reading up on the whole tool. So explore and give me a yes if you came up. Give me a yes. Give me a screenshot of your what you've generated. Okay. And I wouldn't mind it if you would also get me a screenshot at the same time. I'm going to move it over here so I can see what you requested, you know.
Create a rectangle.
And I'm going to screen shoot this. And here's my Padlet. And go to my Padlet. And I think I already gave you guys the Padlet link, but just in case I didn't give it to you yet, I'll give it to you one more time.
Select mode now.
Here's the Padlet link. Let's go in here and I want to see what you guys generated. Diana. Generative AI. I asked for what did I ask for? Let me copy my prompt. Long-tailed featherbird and covered reflections on the water. And let me get that screenshot going. Publish. Okay, let me see what you guys did. Let me see, Curtis. You were looking for something similar to the image on the left. Oh, so you gave it a sample? Or this is just something you were hoping for? You got this on the right. What was your prompt? Would be interesting to know. Was this something you said imitate that? When it said upload a style pattern? Curtis, or
Yeah, no, I was specific with a location. I asked for the Ipanema Beach boardwalk in Rio de Janeiro. So that's what I was looking for. What I got
okay.
was a very generic cityscape of
Yeah,
Cuba. Yeah.
that's the thing. I don't know that you can be as specific as that. Like you can really describe your art piece, but I don't think you can describe it to know it's not like ChatGPT or something like that that might know the world. It's the Adobe, meaning you say opinion on the
Yeah,
beach or
yeah.
whatever. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
It's
yeah, I do.
not,
And I'm
it's
finding that
not-
out.
Yeah, but that's good. No, but thanks for the example, because then I can say, yeah, this is a bit different. But yeah, it would be good if you could edit that and add what you wrote, just we're all
I've
learning from
deleted
each
it.
other.
It's all gone.
Vera, I can't, since it was selected when you took the screenshot, it's hard to see the art, but it looks like you got some mountain scenes. And over here, I can kind of see that you wrote reflection of a waterfall. I
Yeah.
can't.
In the mountains, a place that would attract tourism.
Okay, so if you guys can edit your post, just hover over the three little dots over your own post, click edit, and then you can write what your prompt was, because I think that's the learning process for a lot of us, to see what the prompts are, see who gets a result that they're happy with. So anyway, if anyone else can post theirs, that'll be great, and then we'll just move on. And I'm gonna say that's it for now for what I'm gonna teach you about generative AI on Illustrator, because I don't know much more in Illustrator. I've been doing some pretty good stuff that I actually like in Photoshop with the removing and retouching and those kind of tools, generative fills. It's been awesome. And I believe generative fill just might have arrived to Illustrator, but I have to do an upgrade. And what that means is, I think they said that it was in Illustrator now, So say that I have a piece of art and I will just expand it with generative fill and it'll just fill with more of that. So say I make one flower and then you just like want it to fill your whole artboard with that variations of that flower, and you use a generative fill and suddenly you've got a burst of that flower or something like that. But I think that's in the next upgrade. Okay, so ready to go, ready to move. I haven't seen your other people's posts. Oh, here, Christina. You requested a purple hydrangea flowers in a vase holding water. Then you revised the request with oh, purple hydrangea flowers with green stems in a vase holding water with more details on the object, scene, and subject. So this is the first one you got, and that's the second one?
No, in fact, I'm
Other way around.
disappointed because the second
Oh.
one to me looks worse than the first one.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's full. It's like you asked for less detail or something, and it
But I
gave
asked
you
for
some.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. That's what I mean. We need to learn how to ask for things. Because the first one does seem to respond to your prompt. Purple hydrangea flowers of vase holding water. And then after that, I would like to follow some tutorials on getting the style that you want, because this is a generic style. What if you want it to be, you know, how it said whimsical or fantasy-ish or, you know, minimalist or so, but this certainly is not a good plan B solution, right? Now I'm surprised you don't seem to have the plan A here either. In my case, I could see my variations before and after. You seem to have only the second variations. Where are the first ones?
Oh, unfortunately, the first one's got deleted.
Oh, you deleted them? Okay. Okay, that's
Mhm.
fine. Because normally you
Oh,
can
here.
go back to it and then move on from that. Choose the one that's the best, and then move on from there and so on and so forth. But yeah, that doesn't seem like a better version of
I
that.
just found them. I'll just post the first ones.
Okay, great. And then, all right, someone who knows how to do this. She certainly knows how to do this. Holiday greeting card with peace and joy and joyful modern bright colors with space for 8 photos. Well, I don't know about the space for 8 photos.
I think the second one, I think those squares are supposed to be for
You
photos.
fit in the photos in there, 1, 2, 3, 4, but then you have way more than 8.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's because I'm also in the VDI. It's
Yeah, I
just
know,
my
but I
whole
mean,
computer is slow.
enjoy, did you ask for particular colors or not? I mean, obviously these are generic designs, right? That it
Yeah.
came up with. It's not like, but that's all you're asking for. One thing is, this is different. It's creating graphic art. It's creating what I'm trying to say, vectored art that you can get in there and now change it yourself. I'm going to teach you about recoloring. I'm going to do that today when we're talking colors. You can change all the colors. You can decide to make more flowers, less flowers.
Oh,
Go to ChatGPT or one of those, which
is
also they can give you but it might create an initial better result, but then it's not a workable result for you to keep working within, right? The idea here is that you're creating something that's a starter. Like if you're not an illustrator, right? And you want a mountain, just ask for a few mountains. And then when you get the mountain you think you can start with, then you start modifying it. In that sense, I would like that because I'm not necessarily someone who is a great illustrator. My sister, on the other hand, is. But I'm not. So I'm great with positioning and shape and color. You know, I'm a graphic designer. I'm not an illustrator, even though I'm teaching the program Illustrator. So I would find it great to be able to start with an idea, a shape, and then modify it from there. I would like that. Let me see. Oh, I like that. Thumbprint background with ocean, mountain, and sky. That was simple request, and that was an actual perfect result to your request. It looks like here you have a different kind of mountain with a thumbprint on top.
Yeah, I was real happy with that one. I was like, ooh.
Yeah, that looks really, that does seem to fit with what you're looking for. So there you go, guys. Of all our examples, this seems to be the one that I think is more appropriate and creative versus Moni's was very appropriate. but maybe a bit more run of the mill because, you know, it's not, nothing too creative about it, but I wouldn't have been able to sit there and do it. So it's a good place to start. But knowing Moni, she could have probably created something much more interesting. But I would start with something like that and then I would vary it or change it or whatever. Sure, it's a great beginning place, right? You seem to have a couple of you have some snowmen down there. Oh, those were the snowmen and the sand people, okay, that you had asked for. Cool. And then, yeah, definitely this seems like a bit of a, like a letdown, that you wanted better and it gave you worse. That one I don't understand, but here's the rest of your prompts, okay? So I'm not sure how that happened. And then Vera, I can't read, oh, now you got the one that I can see and now you have your request. Reflection of waterfall at dawn with mountains and cliff rocks to be used as a logo for traveling, hiking, vacation, tourism. Okay. And then, you know what? For what you requested, this is actually a good result. Now, is it the style you wanted or not? That's what I don't know how to change yet. I think if you give it a style reference here, it's supposed to match that style. That I haven't tried yet. But you can go in here and change the sky from purple to yellow or blue or whatever. Like this is a very workable design for you to modify it for your purpose, but does it fulfill the simplicity of a logo? Does it give you what you asked for, which was waterfall, mountains, cliff rocks? It certainly does, right? So, yeah, there you
Then
go.
I thought, that's just a play one. It's not something real I want to do, but I was thinking of a birthday card for somebody.
Yeah.
And I generated it and it fell right over top of the first one. So I wrestled with it and drug it down to the next artboard. But I guess I should, if I'm really doing this
Move
for,
to another artboard or create a box for it to be inside of or something like,
okay.
or a circle like you did here. Did you ask for the circle or did it give you a circle because you said logo?
I guess it gave it to me. I didn't ask for a
Gave it
circle.
to you because you said a circle. Okay. Yeah, just start it in a new artboard or something and then it won't fall right on top. But it should be self-contained. They should be grouped. So you should be able to separate it. I just wanted to show you that actually, that if I go into my layers right now and I open this, this is called a generative object or generative object, I think they called it. So when I open it up, it's already grouped into the little bits and pieces, right? But yeah, it's all but you know, if I needed to separate all these plants and flowers, I got some work to do, right? I have to go in there and I have to select this plant and group it, and that plant and group it, and that plant and group it, so that later I can then use it somewhere else myself. Now, what I'm interested in seeing is, did they create this plant as a separate thing? No, they didn't. Look at that. I can't separate that plant for this one unless I cut it out because they didn't create a leaf and another leaf on top. It's just all merged as one shape. So this is not like I can then just grab that leaf and flop it around. I'm going to have to separate those pieces because these are one shape. So that's interesting. Anyway, learning about it and liking some of it, not liking some others. Let's just save this file, put it away, and then I would love it as homework for you guys to create some more things and post what you're creating so that we can, I'm requesting, I want to learn more about it. But I have to admit, my personal time on generative AI, I'm spending it in Photoshop, where I do believe it's doing some pretty amazing stuff. And I haven't played around with it in Illustrator. By next time I teach Illustrator, which is coming up soon in another month, hopefully I'll have had more time to play around with it. Cool. So I'm gonna close this one up. If you guys want to have it yours open to keep playing around with it, please do so. But I'm kind of calling it quits for now, and I'm going to move on to something else. So I'm going to save that one and quit that one. And now I want us to create a new file. And same old, just create, and we're back to a little foursome. When you're here and you've saved it and you're ready to go, give me a quick yes, and we will work on something.
Deanna,
Yeah.
can you remind me when you're in VDI, how do you save?
That's true. You need to save and you need to go into my drive in the Google Drive. You want to share your screen? Here, it's easier
Oh,
to
sure.
do it really quickly?
Sorry. Okay. Share.
Okay, so go ahead and say allow. Okay, so go to file, save.
Let me move this out of the way. I can't see. Okay, file save. Do I save as?
No, well, if it's never been saved, saved is enough. It will save as if it's never been saved, so.
Well, I put it on, I didn't know where I saved. I saved it somewhere,
Go
so,
ahead and say save on your computer.
okay.
You make it smaller.
And by the way, if you're in your own account, you could probably also use save on the iCloud. And then when you have your own, when you get to your own computer, you can pull it down from the iCloud. That's just a thought. But anyway, over here, to save it in the school stuff, you would have to go to this PC for a second.
Okay.
And then scroll down to Google Drive. Did you sign into Google Drive? Oh, you might have not signed into
I
Google.
thought I did.
Okay. I don't see it.
Huh.
Um,
Okay. I thought I did. I thought I did it all
okay, so go
regular.
ahead and open this PC with this little icon here to see all the options in there.
How do you shrink it?
Keep scrolling up and down. Yeah, I don't see Google Drive.
Huh. Okay, that's weird.
So you can't. Go ahead and say cancel. Let's see if we save it to your cloud. Go ahead and say save again. And then go to save to creative cloud.
Yeah,
And
that's mine.
yeah, so
So
there you go.
that's-
So now go ahead and say
Says-
save it there.
Okay.
And then from your actual, which is actually a good reminder when people are in Adobe and stuff like that, if they don't have Adobe, right, in their computers, they can't do that, but you do have it. You're just temporarily today out of your computer, so that's good. And then you can just pick it up and bring it into your computer.
Okay.
So then you don't have to deal with, you know, the Google and all that. All right. Cool. Let's let me share my new screen. Here we go. Where's my Illustrator? Here to go. Okay. So let's go ahead and create a new document. Let's move into that. And now I want to ask you guys, let me stop and share. Did you guys, a few weeks ago, did we download the class files? Did everyone download the class files or not? If you didn't, hopefully you have a photo somewhere on your computer that you can use. But if we did download, I just didn't remember if I had made everyone download the class files or not. So say that you didn't. Maybe Barbara, one of you guys did or didn't download the class files. Then go find, if you can, somewhere in your computer, if you have a photo. Let's go ahead. Let me share again what I'm going to do next. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about tracing an image and creating a piece of art from an existing photo or even from an existing doodle or sketch that you've made yourself, right? Like you start creating a logo on a piece of paper on a napkin, and then you go, okay, I'm going to go with this variation. You sketch it in, you trace it, and then you actually work with it in Illustrator. That would be an example. Or you pick a picture. So let's go ahead and place something from the files that I gave you guys. So let's do Command or Control Illustrator. It's
Scale
different.
tool.
Let's go ahead and say File, Place, which I forget that in Illustrator it's not the it's you know how for those of you who have a design class, my InDesign it's Command or Control D. In Illustrator, that shortcut changed. It's Shift Command P. But anyway, so File, Place. And in my Illustrator files, hopefully you have them too, then I brought in this silly kitty, which I thought was really cute. I also have a chameleon, which I thought was really cute, but let's go with silly kitty first because he has all this fur and it's pretty amazing what it did with that. Did you guys Get that picture in the class files? If you don't have the list, you might have a list, then it's called Silly Kitty. Just let me know if you have it.
So
If
you
you,
place them in the corner and make them, how big?
now I'm gonna place it, and yeah, I'm just gonna click and drag and make it kind of as big as it fits in the page, which is about yay big.
It seems to want to just go to part of it. Is that,
Yeah, because proportionally, right? It's a long and skinny tall one, and we're in a square. So if you click and drag, it will fit only a piece of this box. Does that make sense? So if you make it be as tall as the image, or even if you make it be less tall, whatever you do, the best you can get is that much. It's not going to fill your screen. It could fill your screen, but then you'll be cutting some of the pink off, and you can do that too, right? You can actually place it, but file place. Let's find it one more time. And then you could make it bigger, and then it'll fill your screen like that, but then you'll have to cut something off, you know, stuff like that, but yeah. So I'm just gonna have it be filling my, and hold down the shift key so that it's proportional. I'm just gonna have it kind of fill my box at 5 inches tall, and I'm not gonna worry about wide. But remember, if you have the shift key, you can make it bigger or smaller, and it'll be proportional. If you don't hold the shift key, then you're going to distort it, and that would be a bad idea. So I'm going to undo because I don't want to distort it. Hold the shift key and then move it in or out by the sides or by the top, just holding the shift key to give it the size you want it to be. Okay, so I'm going to give it about yay size. When you've got the silly kitty in the new document, place in the new document, then give me a, yep, I got it. I'm seeing a no from Moni. I'm not sure if this is from before or after.
No, I'm working on trying to get to the drive so I can get the.
Okay, you know what? Oh, I was gonna say any other image, but you're right.
Yeah, but I don't have any. I'm working on it. We'll see if, you know.
Yeah, you don't have any other image. Do
Yeah.
you know how to go and get the Google Drive?
Well, I looks like I finally got into the Google Drive, so I think
Okay.
I'm getting there.
Then it should be, okay, good. And if not, I can help you. You can just share your screen. I can walk you through it. Okay, give me a yes over there. Vera, Christina, how are you doing? Did you find this image?
I'm so lost.
Yes, I have it.
You have it, Christina? Oh, you had a yes on that. Okay, Barbara, do you want to share your screen so I can help you get here?
I'm so lost.
I don't know if you got the original files, but let's give it a try. Share your screen, and I might have walked you through downloading them. Okay, so let's open Illustrator.
Let's see, it's
Oh,
open.
there it is. You've got, so you can minimize this thing.
This one?
Yeah, this window. Yeah. So go to Illustrator and then go up to File, Place. No, you're in Safari, so you need to click on Illustrator for it to, you know, become the tool of choice. Okay, now you say File, Place. Okay, and now I believe that if you go to your downloads, we might have downloaded your class files. So scroll up and down a little bit. Kind of do a bunch more scrolling. Is that all you have? You can do a quick search. Go ahead and put your mouse in here and write Illustrator to see if a folder with the Illustrator. Okay.
Illustrator.
That's fine. That's enough. And no, so go to downloads to see if you downloaded it. So it'll search the downloads folder. Yeah, you have stuff here. So these are, you've had them from other times. You can see how you have 2 or 3 of the same one. So scroll down. One of these will work, even if you don't have the silly kitty.
I don't have the
Okay, go ahead and write, go ahead and instead of Illustrator up here, go ahead and write the word silly kitty. I think we called the file silly kitty, right? Click on that little X to get rid of it and write silly kitty. And let's see if you have it somewhere. And if you don't, then just bring in any photo. There it is, silly kitty. Perfect. Yeah, you downloaded it and it's somewhere. So, okay.
Yeah,
Back over here, I can see it's in your documents folder. There it is. I can see it's in your documents folder. So next,
so I just drag it.
yeah, no, now click on the word place down here at the bottom. Okay, and now just kind of click on the top and drag down. Don't simply single click because then this happens. Now you have to undo that, Command Z. Command Z, and now go grab it again. You have the pencil. Why don't you grab your selection tool so you don't have the pencil as your tip? That's what you used yet last week, and it always sits there. Okay, go inside File Place again. And then this time when you bring it in, click and drag so that it fills this space instead of just a single click. So go to say File Place. And now we just know that you need to go
Silly kitty again.
documents, and then we can have you set up already in your, and then 20, go scroll down to 2025. What was the name of the folder? Summer 2025. It was in one of these folders. There, summer.
Illustrator.
Yep. There you go. And now silly kitty will be somewhere at the bottom because it's alphabetical. There it is, silly kitty. Now this is better because now every time you open it, you're ready to go. You don't have to do a search. This will always work. Okay.
Okay, then I hit place.
Yeah. Good news is that now next time you look for something, you're always so click.
Now do I click or do I draw a line?
Click and drag, like click over here and drag immediately. Don't just click, but click and drag. Yeah, there we go. And leave it whatever size you want. Now you can just grab it, and as long as you hold shift, you can make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so hold down your shift key, grab one of the corners and drag it to make it bigger. Or the side, to make it bigger, but just hold the shift key, right? Don't let go of the shift key so that it constrains proportions, right? And then keep.
Now if I hold down the space bar.
No. Right now, I want you to hold the shift key because no matter what you do, when you drag it open, the whole thing will open bigger. But it'll be constrained. It won't like distort, okay? So with the shift key held down, hold that one and just keep dragging until it kind of fills. There we go. Okay. There you go. Now you have your.
Can I click?
Illustrator. You're ready. That's all we did. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna keep going. Hopefully Moni will get there at some point. And
I got it. I have the kitty.
You have it? Okay. And Andrea is busy. So for now, let's get going. Okay. So here we have this image. Now, you guys didn't really get to see it too much, but if you zoom in, it's a really good photo. You can see the hairs of the cat, and zoom in a little bit in the middle of his face. Does get a little bit blurry on the sides over here. But the face has really good sharpness. You can see the texture of the shower cap, but then as we get a bit further, it's a bit blurry. So it's a bit of a challenge, because it's got some very sharp spots and some very fuzzy spots. See the body? It's like, anyway, we want to turn this into an illustration. Now, why would we want to turn this into an illustration to start with first? First of all, I might want to, this file might be too small and I want to make it bigger. And in Photoshop, I have a limitation of how big it can be. So say that this is the logo, say that I design shower caps or something like that. And I want this to be plastered on a poster, on a billboard, and on the freeway, right? I'm going to be hard pressed to have a photo that's big enough to become a really good, whatever, how big those billboards are, but let's say 20 feet. I don't know. Does anyone have any idea what a billboard size might be? Off the top of your head. I know they're humongous. When you see people by them, they're like, this is the person and this is the billboard,
40
But anyway.
feet by 50 feet.
40 by 50 feet, good. I've got someone who has a slight idea. So there's no way I'm gonna be able to put a Photoshop file, a camera, a photographed file, right? Of this kitty with a hat to become that big and have good resolution and all of that. So one solution is to turn it into an illustration because that will turn it into vector files. A vector file is something that I can make as big as I want, as small as I want, and it will always look good. In this case, if I want to make it look like a photo, I'm going to do that. I'm going to trace it. Illustrator is going to turn this into a illustration of this cat. And it can do it at many different levels. It can make it look like a little cartoon. It can make it look like a photo. It can make it look like a black and white drawing. So this tool is called Image Trace. I just noticed that my alarm just called for a break. And since this is going to take some time and we barely got started, why don't we call for the break now instead of being halfway through and then next thing you know, we kind of get our break in the last 10 minutes of class. There's more that I'm going to teach you today, not just this, but let's do that. Let's do the break first because we haven't really gotten our hands completely dirty with it yet. Go ahead and save the file though, and let's call it image trace. So I'm going to do a Command S, save, and I'm going to call this one image trace of silly cat. And
On my
that,
computer.
what's that?
I'll save to my computer. I don't want it to go on the cloud. I want it in my computer.
Yeah, I saved to the computer, exactly. I just told Moni to save to the cloud because she's on VDI, and so that's a good solution.
Silly.
All right, so what time is it over there in your world? And
It's 3:17.
3:17. Ooh, those are horrible times for me to figure out 15 minutes. Somebody who's better at math?
What time is it?
Just do 3:30. That gives us 13 minutes.
Okay,
That's good.
back at 3:30 p.m.
Okay.
Okay, all right, see you
Okay,
guys.
when I save that, another whole window opens up.
When you say file save. See, this is the problem when I give a
I
short.
did file save and then another window came up.
What does it say? What does the window say?
Compatible with
Oh
Illustrator.
yeah, say okay to that one.
Okay,
That's a good one.
got it. Thanks.
See you guys in
I'll
30
take your break.
minutes. Bye.
Oh dear.
All right. Let's go for it. Here we are. It's 9:30 p.m. for me. All right, so turn on your videos if you're back, or give me a yes if you're back and you don't normally turn on your videos. That way I'll know that you are, that we can keep moving forward. All right, so Curtis, Vera, and Moni, you are here.
How
And
long are
you're
you
not
going to be in
here.
Argentina?
I'm coming home this weekend. I'm traveling
Oh.
on Saturday, get there on Sunday. It's a long trip. And so next week I will be in
Home
Barbara again for the last
and
week
and
of
and
class.
and jet lag, I guess.
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Coming home is harder. Coming here, I mean, it depends, but
Yeah.
going to Europe was much worse because it's 9 hours. This is 5 hours, and life in Argentina happens later, so it's not so different, like it's more like 3 hour jet lag. So at some point I'll get there.
Yeah, we need to rethink the way we live here. It's time to stop living to work and start working to live.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Or whatever it is. You know what I mean.
Bravo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. I do know what you mean. I sometimes this trip, I really spent so much time with people and friends and family and see how differently people behave. And I'm not American. I am American now, I'm citizenship, but I've been there for so long that I am basically I live like an American as far as however much I know differently. But when I come back to these places and I go to Europe and Spain with all the friends, I just notice how much more time people spend with just friends and family, and how different the speed of
They're
it's
relaxed and
fast-paced
they
life.
enjoy
It's
life
fast-paced life,
and
but the focus is different. And
yeah.
I look at my life and I go, wow, all I've done is work, for years. And it's like I need to do a bit more of the rest of it instead of I don't have time for friends. I just need to be productive and I've got to get.
Change that while you still have time.
And exactly. And that this trip that I did partly had to do with, hey, I'm still in good health. And while I still am still good health and I still have time, let's enjoy, right? So
Yeah.
here we go.
Diana,
Image trace. Yes.
quick question, nothing to do with the class. But yeah, that cute little curly-haired boy, your son, used that.
They're not cute
How
little
old is he
curly-haired boys
now?
now. They are 18 and 22.
Are they really?
They're 18 and 22. They're still cute curly-haired guys instead of girls, but yeah. Curls
Well,
haven't
I
gone
knew he
away.
wasn't a little boy anymore, but
No little boys.
he popped up on my computer. We used him for something a long time ago.
I don't know. Yeah, we used some of his photos. Okay, so here we go, guys. This is our sample. Just so that we can compare to the original, let's just do an Option, Alt, and then drag and put this one here. And we're going to leave that one being the photo that we brought in, and we're going to play around with this one, okay? So once you have these two, notice that when I click on it, this frame has an X on it, and that's because it's an image that's been brought in. If you know anything from my other InDesign class, this is a linked file. It's not an embedded file. There's all that stuff is the same. But I can't alter this image in Illustrator. I can't like make his cap green or the background yellow. If I want to alter this image to have it be part of my illustration, I have to do that in Photoshop. Does that make sense? So for those of you who saw how I did that with, Christina, you're in my digital sign techniques class, Moni, you saw how I did that there. that's how I would have to do it. Same as I did with InDesign. I would have to modify this in Photoshop, and then I would update the link and it would modify in here. So pixels cannot be modified in Illustrator. So the only thing I can do to this image is to turn it into vectors. And to turn it into vectors, I have to do something called image trace. So when I click on nothing, my contextual toolbar gives me generic stuff. When I click on this, it gives me the image trace. So remember, the contextual toolbar tries to give you what you need next. The properties panel does that too. And the properties panel started many, many, many years ago. That again, if I click away, it shows me document information. If I click on a photo, boom, here it gives me the whole image trace and all that information. Now there's even a tinier contextual toolbar. Already properties was contextual, now it's a toolbar, and I have the choice there. Now, wherever we make our choice, I also have it up at the top where I can say, I believe it's object image trace or one of those, or you have the whole thing, I don't remember. No, you have to go to the window and turn on the image trace panel. And if I turn on the image trace panel, then all the image trace choices show up at the same time. Right now, let's not tell on the image trace panel. Let's use these quick accesses to image trace, and then we'll see when it's worth turning on the panel. But another thing I wanted to show you that's over here is that I also have my link info there. Okay, so that's because that's the link, you know, and then if I want to modify it, look at what shows up here, PS, edit the image in Photoshop. So again, if I did want to edit this image, I can only do it in Photoshop. So it's showing up here, edit in Photoshop, and it's showing up there, edit in Photoshop, okay? So that's basically all the stuff that I can do. Now, let's go ahead and click on image trace right now. Just the quick and dirty button called image trace. Now, tracing may proceed slowly with this large image. Would you like to continue? If you want to reduce it, you have to go into object rasterize. Just ignore that. It's not going to take that long. And if you make this a lower resolution, something that we would normally have to have done in Photoshop, it'll have lower quality. Thus, your image trace will also give you a lower quality solution. It's not going to take too long. So just go ahead and say, okay, I'm fine. Just trace the high quality image you have. You'll have a better quality vector solution. So we'll say, okay, to that. And then it's done an image trace. Now, what kind of image trace did it do? Well, whatever was my last setting. And in my case, my last setting, I had asked for a line drawing. Is it a good line drawing? Well, I'm missing the cap. I'm not missing the cap. So clearly that's not going to be enough. I need all my tools. Now you might have gotten a better result or not. It depends on what was your last choice. Over here on the right, I can pull up all my window for all my choices. I'm going to click on that, open the image trace panel. I could also open it under window image trace. Again, same result. Or without opening the whole panel, I can go at different presets and I can click on that and go, well, I want to do a preset of high fidelity photo, for example. So let's go for that first, and then I'll open all the other stuff. But let's say I'm going to go for high fidelity photo. So I'm going to click on that. And now it rereads it. I don't know, you might have already gotten whatever the preset yours was set at. Now I'm setting without any other internal choices, just say high fidelity photo. This one takes longer for me because it is trying to give me a big, image, but it's, what, 30 seconds? It's not like that horribly long. Now, I don't know Moni in VDI if it's maybe going to be too much for VDI. You tell me. But anyway, this is a very large photo. I didn't show you that, and oh, darn it. Doesn't seem to have worked. Ha, 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 ha. I always make that joke and it's not too funny anymore. Let's zoom in. And what we're looking at right now is an illustration. From far away, it's hard to tell the difference, right? So literally, if this were going to be on a billboard, that's a photo, that's an illustration. That's how we would see it. It would look like a photo. But yes, the high fidelity photo is amazing. I have never done it with this image, by the way, every time I try to choose something different. But look at that. Pretty cool. I would have to get really close up to begin to see that this is actually vectors and not actual pixels. I like it. Did that work for you guys?
Diane, you had a image trace window pop up. When I did image trace, it didn't.
Yeah,
It-
so either you click on this little window to put up the image trace window, which is this one, or
Okay.
you can also go up to the window and pull up the image trace. But in this case, I didn't use that window yet. I closed it and I just went with the preset. And there's all these different presets and I tested out high fidelity photo. And here I got, and I always make the bad joke and oh, it didn't work. And the fact is it did work. It's just that it looks pretty amazing.
I can't get that window to pop out.
Okay, so share your screen so I can help you. If you got your image trace to look pretty amazing through the high fidelity, give me a yes if you're still waiting for it to work. In particular, I want to know what happened with VDI, then give me a yes. All right, so over here on the far right, not only do you have it, but you already had it set in high fidelity photo. See, this is what I'm using.
I
and
got it. I got it by clicking on this thing.
Yeah, and that's what I did. That's what I did. But if you want the whole
But you
image
had a
trace-
window open
Yeah.
up.
I did, and you have it too. It's just that it opened way
Now I
over
have
here.
it.
Okay, so put it
Yeah.
over, bring it over here so that it, so you see it on top of each other, because with Zoom and whatnot, it'll, now it's not one that I use all the time, so I don't need to like notch it in unless you're someone who does image trace all the time. This is good to just have it there, use it and turn it off. But yeah, there you go. There you have it. Let me
Thank
stop
you.
share. Now go ahead and try a couple of the other, let me see, hold on, let me see the responses from you guys. Okay, I'm seeing yes from Curtis. Is that the only guy who got it done? Oh, Andrea. How about the rest of you guys? Did the image trace high fidelity work out for you? Vera, Christina, okay, Moni,
I missed the first 5 minutes, so
okay.
I did not do an alt copy, correct?
I did an alt copy, yeah. This is the
You did.
original one,
Okay.
and this one I did the image trace high fidelity. Do you need me to catch you up so you can continue, or?
Yes, and
Okay,
I apologize.
share
The
your
AI.
screen. Share your screen.
Okay.
I'll just help you and then we'll move on. Now,
So how do I know?
go to those presets first, then I'll show you how to modify those choices, but go to those presets and try another one. So you can drag this one out, get another copy and try a different one, or you can just keep changing the same one, right? Okay, there you go. And then all I did here is I hit the image trace to see what the automatic thing was going to be. So see over here in the contextual toolbar, I hit that word image trace. You can
Okay,
also
that's where-
hit it. You can also hit it here. Just click on the word image.
I can't see it. I
Okay, then
can't see it
well,
because
can you see it
the
here then?
Zoom, the
All right.
Zoom is.
Can
So
you
let
see
me
it
stop
here on the
sharing.
right? Now I can't point to it.
Okay, so click on the image trace.
And then wait it out while it does the image trace.
Say okay.
Yeah, I don't know what it said to say. Okay.
Tracing may proceed slowly with this
Yeah,
large.
say okay to that.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. And when you're done, and when it finishes reading the whole thing, truly, if you chose high fidelity photo, it really will be hard to tell it's an image until you really zoom in. Okay. Now, I've told people to go ahead and try some others. So let's try the 6 colors. I'm going to go for 6 colors. I don't know. Let's see what that one does. And I'm doing it on the same one because I haven't yet turned this into vectors. The fact that I still have this X over it means it's still a preview and I haven't yet completely finished it. So I can keep testing out all these other versions. And here you go. This is a 6 color version of it. Let me see, 1 color, 2, I guess most of the colors are put in the cat fur. And then I have 2 colors for the hat, which if I didn't know that the cat is wearing a shower cap, if I just looked at this image, I would wonder, is there like flames coming out of his head? Like it doesn't do it. It's not enough colors. You know what I mean? I can see it because I knew the original image, but otherwise this doesn't seem to be enough colors. So I might need to move it up. Maybe let's go to 16 colors and see if 16 colors is a good one. But at this point, once I tire of the presets, then I'm going to open the whole panel and then we can see how else we can make this work. But right now, let me see what 16 colors is going to do.
Okay, how did I get to that?
And look at that, 16 colors isn't that different since it is a very lacking of colors image. It is pretty good quality, but this time there's enough colors to actually define the shower cap from afar. It still looks a bit like a photo. So that's pretty interesting. The only thing that really looks different is that the muzzle here does have a lot of pink, but the hair didn't seem to, I mean, you consider it, this isn't a photo that originally had that many tones, right? So it's kind of easy to reduce it to a small amount of colors and still have it look, usually this is a bit more pictorial when you get down to 16. Anyway, the only other thing I was gonna say, instead of trying the rest of these in here, let's open that panel. So I'm gonna
Yes.
click on that panel right here, open the big one, okay? The big one meaning the big panel. And now let's see what else we can do within these choices. So again, the presets are right there. I can click on these presets and choose something else. Line art, technical art drawing. Some of these just won't work. If I go for technical art drawing and I choose that one, it doesn't work. For some art, it just, look at that, little dots. It's kind of like, what's that all about, right? Line art, kind of, the one that works a bit better is sketch art because line art and technical drawing for a photo tend to do this. What it works for is if you're scanning in some line art that you photographed,
That's the
right?
tracing in.
And then you tell it to give you that line art, and then it does a good job. But if you take a photo and tell it to give you line art, it doesn't do a good job. Does that make sense? If I say sketched art, now we're going to be getting somewhere, except for, again, I'm missing out my hat. So let's do this. Let's still sit in sketched art because I want to show you a little bit what the other buttons can do. Say that I want this to look like sketched art, but I really do need to see more than what it's giving me. So everyone, choose the preset called sketched art.
I did that already.
And then give me a yes, so I know that you're all here. And yeah, you can keep making copies of the first one and try other versions, but I want to show you with this selection. I'm going to show you some of the other tools. All right, so
I don't get that box.
the image trace box.
Oh, well, I did sketch start already,
Okay, then
but
click
I
on the
don't get
presets,
the,
presets and choose. If you don't get this box, maybe you've already moved some things around, like you don't get
oh,
the
I've got the picture because I did sketch start before, when you said just do
way
choose
around with
something
others,
else.
yeah.
But I don't get that image trace box come up
So you
with,
might have clicked away, so it's not selected. Go ahead and select it again. Is that what you mean? Like if I click away, I don't have a box around it, but if I select
well,
it, I do.
I don't know. Can I share my
Share your-
screen?
Yeah, share your screen because I need to know where it's happening. What do you not see? The image trace box. Okay, click again. Okay, the tools is what you're missing. Okay, you just had to move to the right a little bit. You just hide your tools and I can't. You gotta move the whole thing over to the right because it's over here and you're hiding that. Yeah, okay. So that thing that's barely there, that's the button for the tools.
Okay.
It's like hiding over there, so you need to drag it in because we need to be able to see it. Yeah, so move it over here so you can really see it. I don't know, you're still hiding, at least for me, I'm seeing only a piece of it. Maybe it's how I'm seeing it, but there we go. Okay. Stop sharing and share mine. All right, let me clear your answers. Okay, so how do these things work? First of all, right now we're in sketch start mode, black and white. It's just the choices that are the presets. I could choose to do sketch start and grayscale and color and other stuff, but right now let's go with that because this one is a good one to teach you the threshold. Threshold is an interesting concept. Right now it's right in the middle. Now this is black or white or black, no other choices. It's not grayscale. You see, it's either there or it's not there. So you get to choose what you consider a good threshold. And I'm going to go extremely extreme. I'm going to say, what if I go all the way to there? And I'm basically saying anything darker than this goes dark and everything lighter than this goes white, then basically every pixel turns white because my threshold is too low. If I do it the other way around, there's 250 colors of tones, then it's the other way around. It's basically saying anything darker than this go black and everything. So now I get to play around and see if I start setting it in different places and say, you have to choose what goes black, what goes white. So if I now keep moving it over a little bit more, I might get to the time and place where I might see the hat. The problem is that by the time I get to see the hat, all the rest of it might be too black, like right there. You see that? So this is just to show you how threshold works. You're saying any pixels darker than this get to go either black or white, and then lighter than this get, no, sorry, black is on the, unless black is always the left side and white is on the right side. So basically it gets, you're telling it, choose a dark tone, a light tone, and everything darker than this, make it light. So then if I go over here, then it's the other way around. I'm going to lose the hat again, and I'm going to get less of a cat, right? So you get to play around with this. Now, since we don't have grayscale, we're kind of stuck with it. If I really want to see the hat, there's just not enough difference in the original one, right? Between that, and it just doesn't trigger enough. In order to see the hat, the whole cat went black. So this is an image where this might work. So let me go back to the middle for a second. And then let's see if I get, instead of black and white, let's see if I choose grayscale. Now, grayscale is going to give you much more subtlety, but it's not the same. And if I wanted black and white, then I have to decide maybe this isn't the image that can handle black and white. Now, I do have a third solution for that, by the way. Now I've changed it to grayscale. It has to reread it. Now, grayscale is very, very different than black and white. It's such a different effect that maybe this has nothing to do with what you wanted, but I could still say, okay, all my middle grays right now, right, are going darker or lighter. So now again, I could just go ahead and say, well, I want more blacks in there, and I move it over to the right. Black, it's much more complicated to do a grayscale and a color than to do a black and white, and that's why it's taking longer.
That's crazy.
And here we go. Oh, it didn't seem to change that much. Okay. Now, one thing that you might not have, and I wanted to say you need to have, if you have this preview turned on, which I have turned on right now, any change I make, it immediately tries to run through the whole thing. So maybe turn the preview off for a little bit so that we can make 2 or 3 changes first before we let it run, okay? Because with this on, the moment you move it even, from 78 to 77, it does the whole reading again. There's more to that than this, but I'm going to go ahead and go to grayscale or shades of gray is the same. Let's see what it does with black and white logo. Black and white logo is going to be very similar to line art, right? Let's click on black and white logo. And I wanted to say that there's a choice here for me to make. Basically, I think this is no different than when we chose line art. If I want the cat to still have some tones and some color, I can't go much darker than this. So I'll never get the hat. So my solution to this, if I wanted this in black and white, but I wanted to see the cat colors, in fact, I might move it a little bit further left so I get more tones on the body, and I'd try that, right? I don't know. See, I'm getting some more light in his body, but I'm losing a bit of his head, so maybe not so much. Anyway, so now what I would do is I would do this twice. I would get this setting for the body, then I would get another one, and I would choose a much higher threshold to get the hat, right? Maybe that's a bit too high, but I'll get it over there. And then I can just choose, okay, there it's gone. Okay, I'll finesse it until I get the hat. And then I use this part of the pixels from one image and the bottom part from another and put them together and make my own image. Or better yet, and this is important, I go back into Photoshop and I select the hat and I give it a much better, or the other way, I select the background and I give it a much better ending. Like I delete the pink background. And then there will be a gray line that will mark the hat. Does that make sense? So I go back into Photoshop, I give it a high contrast, I drop the pink background. Then when I come in here, it'll be easier for the computer to distinguish between that gray and that gray. Or I make the hat much more similar to these tones. I darken it in Photoshop, and then I retrace it by darkening the hat, dropping the pink, then I'm going to get a good line art with the hat. Does that make sense? So it's a modification. Now, if you're purely an Illustrator person and don't know how to do that in Photoshop, then yeah, a lot of these things are back and forth between programs. So to keep it within Illustrator, I would say this is a solution. Then I would give it one with a higher solution, and then I would join top of one, bottom of another. All right. Let's go to the one that I think will be the best here. Somewhere in between 6 and 16 colors. 16 colors was too many colors. I wanted more of an illustrated effect, but 6 colors, we had the issue with the hat again. So let's go to advanced. Click on advanced.
Just a reminder about screenshots.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. I haven't been doing any, but this is a good one to do.
Where was advanced?
Yeah, so hold on, because I'm in the middle of doing a screenshot. Thanks for the reminder. Advanced, right
God.
under threshold, you have the word advanced.
Tracing
You click
result,
on that
black
little
and
arrow,
white.
Right. And
and
it opens.
okay? So right under threshold, you see the word advanced, click on that little tiny arrow and you'll have a lot more stuff. So
And
I moved
what
it
was
up.
in the middle?
I knew it was going to do that, so I just
Tracing
moved it up
result.
high.
And up here,
I'm going
custom.
to mute you for a second, Barbara, because I thought someone was talking to me and that confused me. Here we go. So move it up high, open advanced, and there's many more choices we can make. Now, I'm going to choose a different image for many more choices because unless I change this in Photoshop, I'm going to have a hard time with that hat. But there's a choice here where I can go, and I'm going to turn the preview off. Otherwise, it's going to keep doing, turn the preview off, choose colors, choose 16 colors. No, oh, just by choosing a preset, it runs. Okay. I'm going to stop since I did choose a preset. I was going to choose colors here, but since I chose it as a preset, it's going to go with that first. Then turn the preview off. Okay. Turn off the preview. And now I can tell it how many colors I want over here. From 2 colors total to 16, but I can go, is what it's chosen, but I can go between 2 and 30. So maybe I'm going to go with less colors, but not as few as 6, which was my other choice. So maybe 11, you know what I mean? 6 wasn't enough to give me a distinction. 16 was too much, maybe 11. I don't know, got to give it a try. Now, this has more to do with the fidelity of the shape, which right now with this one, we're going to be fine with that. I can also tell it, and this is the most important thing I can do. Watch way down here. I can tell it to ignore a color. And I think that's maybe the best thing we can do here. I'm going to say ignore color. I'm going to grab this little eyedropper and I'm going to click on that light pink. I'm going to tell it, ignore that color. Like, don't give me that color. So by doing that, hopefully, I will get, that'll turn white, and then I will get an outline of the cat. I'm just playing around with the choices and seeing if that's going to work. Once I did that, and I'm choosing only 11 colors, let's see. Now I'm going to turn on the preview to get it to run. Turn on the preview, and now it's going to start running. So there you go. Now it completely ignores the existence of that color. And it gave me enough to see most of the cat, but the thing is, looks like it considered the muzzle of the cat that same color. So it gave me white on the muzzle of the cat. And I don't necessarily like that. So now I'm gonna turn off the preview again. I'm gonna try more colors. Maybe I do need to go up to 16 or 18 again. But I'll still keep ignoring that one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and turn the preview on again. And that's my last try with this cat. So you might have wanted to go shorter or bigger or smaller. I know you might have had other choices. Because I want to show you what this means. How do we turn this into an actual illustration? Right now, we're still like preview, preview, preview. Okay, so now we got some of the muzzle back. I'm not happy with it, but let's say that this is it. Let's say that this is the perfect solution. I got it, I like it, I love it. This is what I want. Now what's next? Okay. I'm still curious now that I took the white out. If I really limit the color, I need to do one more test because I'm thinking, what if I really limit it back to like 6 again? It might give me a better pictorial. I want it to look more like an illustration, not like a photo. But maybe by ignoring that color, I'm going to get something that I like. Let's see. Let's see. Last chance. And it keeps reading the original, huh? It didn't ignore it enough. But if I click on that, still, you know what? I like this. This kind of tells me, I don't know, would I know that it's a shower cap if I wasn't? I'm not sure. I told it to ignore that color now, so maybe now I'll get nothing. All right, I'm done trying with this one. I don't know. I still think that I'm gonna have, so here's the good news. I can go into Illustrator and with that color, I can kind of recreate a little tiny line of stuff here to give it a boundary so that it does look like a shower cap. That's my last option. Okay. Let me show you what we do next. Say this is the art piece that we're going to do next. Now, since I said ignore color, I'm going to have nothing here. This is going to be nothing. Had I not said ignore color, I would have had a big box of pink or white or whatever color as part of the image. We're going to do another one really quickly later, and then we'll see it. But now that I say this is my final choice, I love it, this is great, then I need to finish it by expanding. And I can expand over there, I can expand over here. I'm pretty sure that in the contextual taskbar at this point, there's an expand option if it appears. Anyway, so what I need to do is click expand. The moment I expand, then the tracing, as it says here, is going to be converted to paths and anchors. Now we finally have vectors. Okay, So we played, we did stuff. There's more here I want to show you with a different piece of art. It just doesn't apply to the cat because the cat didn't have lines that it would help with snapping in corners and stuff. So we're going to do that in a minute with another image. But now I do have vectors. So let me command plus, 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 plus. And here we go. These are the paths. And let me close the image trace box for a minute. And if I were to go into my direct selection tool, for example, and start clicking, these are all little anchors and paths. And keep zooming in, right? So I can select and click and I can move it around. Now the problem is that if I do that, underneath there's just white. So in my trace panel, there's a choice where I could have made it be that the brown would be in the bottom, the dark brown would be the bottom, the light brown would overlap it so that I can move this and I don't get to white. But basically right now these things fit each other exactly, right? And if I move one of these, what's under is nothingness, is white, right? So that's a different selection that I could have made in the image trace I'm going to show you later. But basically these right now, I can say, well, I'm going to grab this shape and change that shape. But how do I grab that shape and nothing else? Well, this comes in as a group. So remember our layers? If I open this up, this is cat group, okay? So if the cat group is all one thing, how do I get to change? And this is just a test. I'm gonna let you guys answer. How do I get to change the muzzle here to another color? How do I get, because if I now select this group and choose a color, the whole thing's gonna go pink, right? So if I don't want that, if it, instead I want just, oh, the muzzle is not gonna be color because it's white and white has been ignored. What if I want to
Just
change?
click ungroup.
No,
I can ungroup it. Here's the problem with ungrouping it, guys. And yes, that's a solution. So I can select it and ungroup, which I can do from here, or I can also do probably from here. I can ungroup it from there. I can also do the shortcut. But here's the
Is it
problem with grouping. I just ungrouped it. Okay. So if I look at my layers now, there's no group anymore. But here's the problem with ungrouping. It's always a bit dangerous because now if I select this and I happen to move it for any reason,
Yeah.
I've ruined my image. Like it doesn't like match because the whole thing that kept it together is the fact that it was grouped. So I'm going to undo that. I do want to keep it grouped.
You want to double click and isolate it?
Yeah, I'm going to double click. So now I'm going to target this dark brown. Double click, double click, double click until I isolate it. I'm in isolation mode. Remember that? Now I've checked and selected all this dark brown of his back. I can go in there and I can make it be, I don't know, dark orange, for example. And I hit escape. Then I can click and double click on anything that's darker brown and I can actually do a select by color. Right? And I can change that. Now, the only thing I can't double click onto, let me undo that orange because that was a bit too intense, but is that I can't select the white muzzle, and that's, I forgot, and that's because there's nothing there. Like if I select this guy and move it or whatever, the white is nothing, right? So what I need to do is, and I'm going to just show you a quick little abrupt, I'm going to make just a little tiny circle here to give you an idea.
How did you isolate the lower right-hand quadrant of that picture? How
Give
did
me
you
a
get
second.
that?
I said ignore white. Give me a second. I'm just gonna make a little circle and I'm gonna put, for example, orange on it, right? Give me a second because I want to show you something. And I'm going to make sure that that orange is underneath the cat, right? So I'm gonna just drag it down, down, down. I'm gonna put it, in fact, outside of the group and drag it under the cat. So that now I can put it under and see what I mean by the fact that the cat is truly white. the white is nothing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So now if I want the white to have a color, I have to put something underneath it. Because white is nothing. And why? It's because I chose to ignore white in the trace. So now I've got a color on the cat skin. Does that make sense, you guys? And now I can expand that and have that be the color of maybe the hat, right? So I'm going to put little anchor paths in here, and I'm going to just drag these out and maybe make this be the hat or something. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing this out there as a possibility. That's a really the quick little solution here to the fact that the white isn't a color. So I've just made this shape, right? And I put it under the cat, and now the cat has that covering the white area. And of course, I didn't go into the details of the hat, but this is basically, I put an orange thing under my cat. But the reason it's white is because I told it in the image trace to ignore white. So it gave me no shape. Let me just show you really quickly. And then I'll take questions or I'll answer questions. I'm going to duplicate this. If I did the exact same thing, I'm an image trace. I need my whole image trace box. Hold on, let me go up here and say window, image trace. If I were to now say, give me the 16 colors, give me color, give me, what was it? I think I chose 16, 17 colors, something like that. But if I don't say ignore color, right? Then when I do my tracing, and let me wait it out, I just want to show you what happens here. Toodaloo. Okay, now that's happened. Now I expand. Now that I've expanded, and I can get rid of the image trace button, now I have this group, okay? But the pink itself, I can double click, double click, double click, double click until I isolate it from everything else, that pink, and I can hit delete. I hit escape. Now I've got that pink in there as a color, and I just got rid of the background as a piece, and double click, double click, double click, got rid of that. Now I have the result I wanted, right? Where I got rid of that background, but I still have the shape of the hat. And that pink was the same as this, but I only got rid of this one big chunk. So I'm going to undo that again so you can see this was one big chunk, right? Because it's one color. So it was easy to just isolate it and get rid of that one big chunk. Boom. Does that make sense, you guys? And I can isolate this one piece too and get rid of that. And then I have it. So this here didn't consider it a color, so it gave me nothing. And then I put something in it, I believe there, which is one choice, or this, but of course I could make a better job of making it look like a hat. And then this one, I separated it from the colors. But now this is still grouped, and I can still move it as one. And this one is grouped within itself, but I didn't group it with the orange because I put it underneath, right? So what I need to do is I need to put it back into that group. So now I need to take all of this guy and just drag it all the way to the bottom. And it's going to take forever to drag it to the bottom, but I'm going to do that. Drag it to the bottom. I should have just grouped the rest of the cap. Dragging it to the bottom. There's like so many little guys. This is ridiculous. I shouldn't do it this way because look, I'm going to undo myself. There's like a million whiskers and triggers. So I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to be a bit more intelligent about that. I'm going to just grab this guy, put it in there. Select this guy. and select the group that was a cat and make a new group out of it. Boom, there you go. So now this is my cat group with orange hat, and this is my cat without orange hat, but I didn't have to ungroup them. I'm going to show you recolor in a little bit, so we can recolor the whole cat, make the whole cat be fantastical colors. But right now, that's what I got out of this little creature. I know that a couple of you guys said, how did you? So now what's the how did yous? Keep playing around while I answer questions. I think someone said, how did you get the quarter, the white quarter?
Correct. How did you get the lower right-hand quadrant of the cat?
What? Oh, by ignoring color and the trace effect. Is that what you're asking again? So this is the image.
You created a like a rectangle on the bottom right-hand.
No, I didn't.
Of the bottom.
That's the cat. That's the end of the image. There's no more pixels there. I didn't create that. The rest.
No, I meant the blue. You put like a blue rectangle over the body. No?
It was when you were talking about ungrouping and what was the other? Isolating. You had done something.
This blue?
No, you
Yeah,
see how
and you had it like that, and then you pulled away like just a quadrant of them.
Oh,
Exactly.
okay, okay. So, okay, got it. Thank you. So this is, maybe I ungrouped it, and if you ungroup it and click away, now everything is individual, so you can do that. Is that what you meant?
But it was the bottom part. It was the fur. You put
Okay.
a rectangle on the
Yeah, you
like
actually grabbed just a rectangle of
the fur.
yeah.
Just a rectangle of the fur. Sorry, guys, I can't repeat what I did because I don't know. I'll have to go look at my recording. So a chunk like here of fur?
You'd
Like a
created a
line?
rectangle over that fur as if you had cut the picture in quarters, and this was the bottom right-hand quadrant.
Then I have no idea what I did, and if it happened, it was probably a byproduct of something that was wrong, and I did undo and I kept going, and then thus some amazing magical thing I could have done, I undid, and now I don't know how to redo it. I really don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what I did. I'm gonna have to go and watch the recording. I'm gonna write down exactly what time to see what I did, because now I'm really curious. What did I do? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, it probably whatever I did, I thought was a mistake, so I did a Command Z to undo it, and I kept going. And you guys saw it and said, "What's that?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Because whatever I did was probably a byproduct of a mistake. I don't know. I don't think I tried to do anything dividing this cat into quarters like that. I have no idea. Sorry for the lack of answer on that one. Usually I know what I did, but in this case I don't. Yeah, Barbara?
How did you generate vectors? I mean, I had generate vectors, now I can't find it.
No, the generate vectors is it would have been there if I don't have anything selected. That's the generate vectors, and that's the one that we did before. That's the bird or snowman and all the things that we all created. But you have to
Okay.
have nothing selected. The moment you have something selected, then it goes, oh, now you want to image trace? Okay, so then let me image trace. You know what I mean? So the generate vectors disappear because it's contextual. It only gives you what it thinks you need. So if I click away of any of these, it goes, well, do you want to generate something? And I click on this, it goes, oh, do you want to image trace it? So it doesn't always show up there. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
Let me
How
do
do you make the pop-up appear? Like it says image trace up there. How do you make that
that's
appear?
the contextual taskbar. And that one, if you don't have it, first of all, you need to have selected something. That one I have, you might have it down here, you might have it somewhere else, but if you don't see it at all, go to window and turn on contextual taskbar. If it's turned on, then you have it somewhere, you're just not seeing it under some zoom or something. If it's turned off, then it won't have a check mark. Once you turn it on, it'll appear in the same place it should be. So you might have it like that and you're not like seeing it because it's next to something else, you know what I mean?
Right.
So
Okay.
it's there, but it's, I kind of forcefully put it up here so we'd see it, but yeah. Okay. Now, one thing that I would like to have some fun with is from the colors of these things, but I'm going to go ahead and wait until we're done with this, and then we're gonna go into colors. But yeah, there's a cool recoloring tool that I'm gonna have us do. And let me just show you what I'm talking about. Like we can, it's just that this cat doesn't have too many colors, but I can go ahead and like play around with stuff like that. The whole cat changes, but this color, it's hard to paint black with another color because black is black and white is white, right? So there's not many colors in this cat. So I want to do that with a different image. Let's go ahead and save this. Give me some screenshots. And then let's
many screenshots in, it's all fucked
give
up.
me some screenshots, and then we'll move on to a completely different area of the world to start playing around with color, because we have only one class left and color is very important in Illustrator and we haven't done anything with that yet. So image traced a high quality photo and changed the settings to get variations. Once I get what I like, I have to expand the trace and the image turns into vectors. I can now work with the vectors like I would with any other vector image, like circles or neck, you know, it's more complicated, of course, but it's basically vectors and with the into grouped into a group of vectors. An image that is grouped, such as double clicking on individual portions of the image to get into isolation mode and then make an targeted change to only one sector. Okay, that's about as good as I can get. Oh, once I get what I like, once I get you know, a version that I like, I have to click on expand. Okay, that's goodish enough. Okay. Oh, look at that. Oh, you got a better hat. Okay, wonderful.
A headache.
And here, oh, I'm sorry. Is all of this giving you a headache? Oh, you got another little flower that you like better there. Okay, cool. Andrea, do you have any results of your image trace that are any different? Anyway, here we go. Back to Adobe Illustrator. Let's go ahead and say, let's create actually a new file. Let's say file new. And again, we'll have it be the same little foursome. And this time I'm going to place another image and then I'm going to go into colors, but I do want to place a different image that's more colorful so you guys can actually see other things in action that I want to teach you. And that have to do with color that I can't do right here, given that we don't have that many colors. I'm sorry, this window is out of the way. Okay. So, what was the image that I had brought in for image tracing? Well, oh, darn it. Didn't I bring a better photo in? Because this dog doesn't have many colors either. Well, let's go with this pencil sketch of a turtle, which isn't about colors, but it's about all the other image trace tools. And then we can try with the world. But anyway, pencil sketch of a turtle. So this is an example of you sketched something and now you want to turn it into vectors. Okay, so here we go. Place. And I'm gonna place this little turtle, and that's about yay as big as it's gonna get. Okay, so this is a JPEG. It's an image that that I could have sketched. Okay. All right. Let's copy that into the second page. And now we're going to image trace that. So I'm going to let you guys get to the point of having the image trace happen. I'm going to say, okay. Let it do its first image trace, and then let's open up the tools and zoom in. God, is it already? What time is it? I've got my... I'm running out of time for the color. Okay. Tell me when you're here. Okay. Tell me when you're here, because I want to show you some stuff about this image trace. Now we're going to get to play with the other sub-selections. And if you don't remember how you got here, I placed it. Then I did a Option Alt drag to get a first copy of it. And then I just hit the original image trace. And it did whatever default image trace it was going to do. And in my case, my last default tracing was, I think, black and white. So that's what came out. All right, when you're here, give me a yes, because now we're going to just see the difference between paths and corners and noise and snap to curves, because on this one, it'll be easier to tell. Well, first of all, depending on what tracing result we have, I have the black and white middle of the road. And already I seem to have lost some of the lines here. You see that?
How do I get my dialog box back, the image trace box?
Okay, so go up to Window, Image Trace.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to zoom in. Now the black is only black and white. So it looks like this was a pencil and some of this was a bit grayer or not. And this is pretty stark now. It's either black or white, right? And so the black part is blacker, but then this was too light of a gray to qualify in the threshold. So it just went white. So basically nothing, right? So let's zoom into this one. And this is, if I really zoom in, this is what I've got, right? This is the resulting line that's coming out, right? So zoom in pretty big. And now let's see if we can change the texture of that line with these choices. See if we can recover the missing parts and if that's going to make it look better or worse. But this is a good case where by changing the threshold, and again, let's turn the preview off for a second so that I can just move this around. By changing the threshold, so pixels that are darker than the threshold value, which right now it's middle gray, will be converted to black. And pixels that are lighter than middle gray will be converted to white. So it seems like these pixels here in the original were lighter than middle gray. So they were converted to white. Does that make sense? So I'm going to say, well, I want to move this a little bit further over and see if that helps. Now I'm going to turn on the preview. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And look, I've recovered a bit more of that line. So now let me move it over a little bit more. And look, I've recovered most of that line. but then the rest of the line is getting pretty heavy set. See how it doesn't have that texture anymore? Now, I want that heavy set line right now so that I can show you a little bit the difference between paths and corners and noise, okay? So let's set it at about there. And then when you're there, give me a yes. So basically I've recovered some of this line, but the black is now really heavy set. And with the heavy set line, we'll be able to see better the effect of these things, even if we then back off on it because we don't like it. But I want to show you the effect of these choices. So now I'm going to zoom in, and I think I have yeses almost everywhere. Yes, Vera, how can I help?
The dialog box went gray and it doesn't have as many choices as your
It'll
box.
go gray if I don't select the piece. You need to select the piece to have it go bright, right? So it just doesn't work. There's nothing to trace. I go gray. I select something. Oh, okay, now I can work, right? So that's anything that's gray, it's because it's just nothing to trace. Okay, and then the choices that I have here is because I opened up my advanced little button here. And
Okay, I see
I
it.
have all
Okay,
these choices. Okay,
I see it.
did that work? Okay.
Yes.
I have the choice of black and white over here, and I moved the threshold up to about there, just to 10. It doesn't need to be perfect, but I wanted to get a thick fat line. And now I want you to zoom in, guys, because I want you to see the effect of the next set of choices, and it will be easier to see once you see what the line really looks like from up close. So I'm going to go somewhere around there-ish to see this. Okay. This out of the way. Okay. Now. Ah, no. Ah. Ah, yo quería verla. Okay. All right. So, look, hopefully you're all here and clear your answers. Now, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to turn off the preview for a second because if the preview is on again, it'll happen immediately. The more or the less paths I make, the more faithful to the original drawing it'll be. So again, if you look at the original drawing, pay attention to it a little bit. And it was like a chalk drawing kind of thing. And so it's trying to faithfully represent all of these broken up pixels, which when you're moved out, it just looks like a chalk drawing, right? And from afar, this looks okay, except for that we changed the threshold so much. But let's watch what happens if I say, well, I want a high amount of paths. Will it be more accurate or a low amount of paths? So first I'm going to go ahead and make a high amount of paths. I turned the preview off, so it's not going to trace yet. And then I want to make it have many corners. So I want the corners to be really sharp, right? So I made high and high just to have two changes at the same time. Now let's go down here and click on preview to see it happen. Oh, it's tracing it. Where's my trace? Okay, I wasn't paying attention, so I didn't see if it changed a lot. Now I think it did change, but now I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to say I want a small amount of paths and a small amount of corners. Did you see it changing over there? So don't do it yourself. Put your eyes right here. Just look at this one line. Look at that one line. And I'm going to change it to a lot of paths and see how it went really jaggedy and a lot of corners. So now it went even sharper. Now I'm going much less paths. And look at the line simplify itself and fewer corners. So now there's more curves. See what a difference those two made in that line? Now, remember that we're zooming in a lot, that usually you might want to not zoom in that much to see it, but so could you see the difference if Now I go again to many paths and many corners. Now it's very jaggedy. Now, does that mean it's more faithful to the original or less faithful to the original? Well, it depends on your effect. Maybe you want to have a very computerized look where you don't want it to look like the original. Would you rather have clean, straight lines? So then you're going to want less paths, less corners, and then maybe over here, you're going to want, which is the other one? There's one more that we could do. There's one more. It's not the noise, it's another one. I'm going to make the threshold go all the way to the top so that all the light, no, that was a bit too far. There, there. So now I've got almost pure lines, see? Like I've got almost no shape. I'm losing the texture on some of them. Does that make sense? Whereas before, I'm going lots of path, lots of corners, and maybe less threshold. Then when you look at it, it looks a bit more like a from afar because we're zoomed into 800%. So this, remember, will print at about 100%, and it looks more like a chalk or charcoal that I had there. You can create this one if I don't say ignore color, right? Then when I expand, I'm going to have color inside the turtle that I can change color of. Let me go somewhere. Let me go somewhere. Oh, noise. If I tell it to ignore noise, it's going to really lighten up all these little tiny lines. So all the tiny stuff, it's considered noise. And so it basically got rid of them. If I say, no, leave the noise in, then it's going to leave all the teensy little dots. And now I get that line in again. See that? So noise helps you sometimes pick up the texture. And when you don't want the texture, then you say no noise or somewhere in between. And then you basically get all the little stuff disappears. Which if you want a clean line, you can do that. But if you want more of a faithful line, then you're going to do that. Does that make sense? So all of these really make a difference. But if this had been the cat, it would have been harder to tell. The cat would have looked a little bit less plasticky, but it wouldn't have changed too much the effect because it was so detailed. Those furs were so detailed that it would have looked pretty detailed. But now you get to decide if you want it to be more faithful, less faithful, more this, more that, and then you just work the rest. Now, the one that's going to make a huge difference here is going to be if we do ignore color or not. Right now, I am not going to ignore color. I'm gonna leave it empty, and I'm going to say expand. So now this expanded, and now I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go drag, and I'm going to put it down right under it, and now I'm going to do the same image trace, like the same one, but the only difference, I'm going to say ignore color, and the default color that appears is white, so it's going to ignore white, so you don't really need to choose it like I did the pink. But if you were to want that, you could choose this thing and then click on the white, right? But in this case, it's ignoring a gray. I should have not. I'm going to ignore color and let it be white. And now I'm going to trace again. Did I change my settings again? Oof.
Did you expand?
No, let me go here.
Okay.
Not yet. That one I expanded. This one I didn't. I had chosen high paths, high corners, no noise. Those were the settings I had before. Oh, snap curves to lines also makes it be less or more. So replace the slightly curved lines with straight lines. This makes it be more computer-ish. So if you want more texture, then more paths, more corners. I want more texture, less noise. Then I would turn this off. I get even more texture. And I ignore color. So now when I say preview, it'll trace. And once the traces happen, then I'm going to expand. Okay, so now I have two very similar settings between here and here. The only real difference between these two, and I'm going to put them next to each other, is that this one, I ignored the white. So see how it's completely transparent, you guys? It's basically black lines. So if I were to right now make, I don't know, make a box here and fill it with I'm gonna go very blue. A blue gradient. Oh, I thought. Then if I put this shape over it, it's picking up. Well, it's not over it, it's under it. So I need to put the blue gradient under it. There you go. Then it's picking up the colors of whatever it's going over, right? So I'm leaving it here so you can really see that it's empty. That was ignore white. This one, on the other hand, I didn't ignore white. So what I can do right now is I can zoom in, double click, double click, double click, and I can choose this white as a shape. And instead of filling it with white, I can fill it with a green, right? Then I can choose this part of the body, double click, double click, double click, and I'm going to make that white be a darker green. I don't know. And that one a darker green. So it's a white shape that is filled with a color. It exists, right? Or maybe that green or whatever. Blue, I guess I'll
Quick
keep my
question.
so when I escape, when I'm done, I could end up having my whole painted turtle, right? By the time I'm done, maybe the legs are brown. I don't know. Give me a second here with a question, right? So I
Yeah.
can start modulating it. Because these are shapes, but this background here is also a shape. So I can select this background and maybe it's swimming in blue water or light blue water, right? So now that is a big distinction between this and that. This one came in as just lines, and this one came in as shapes that I can give color. Does that make sense? And I just traced the same thing. All I did is I ignored white in one and I didn't ignore white in the other. Okay. Yes, go ahead and I'm going to save this while you ask me your question. Turtle. Yeah. What's your question?
How did, after you do the image trace,
Then
do
you have to say expand.
maybe I didn't do that.
The expand is what turns it into vectors.
Oh, where is the generator?
Do you want to share your screen?
Oh, yeah.
Should I stop?
No, I'm trying to figure out where's my share screen again.
Okay.
I don't do that very often.
Mhm.
Sorry.
No. Let me look at the time. I think we're probably getting
You know
close.
what? I'm just, rather than take time up on that, I will replay the video at this point and I can trace it back. So let's keep going.
Well, I wanted to do color, but I'm gonna have to reserve color. I don't have, we only have 4 minutes to go, so this is fine. Let's deepen this a little bit more. I'll just be, the whole thing will be color next time and we'll be fine. I didn't get around to texts. This class they gave me one in the summer, they gave me one less entire day, one less 4 hours than I normally have. So I ran out of time. I normally do colors and text in Illustrator and I ran out of time. It's okay. What we did in depth, but I didn't do everything. You got to keep taking the class and I'll do something else next time. Next time I'll start with text, you know what I mean? But anyway, I don't have time to attack cuddle. So if you want to share your screen and ask me your questions, go for it. This is good.
I'll replay the video.
Okay. Anyone else have a question? Do you want to share with me what you're doing? Did you understand the difference between ignoring color or not? The fact that I have nothing to fill in this one is kind of like the cat. Oh, I'm not sharing my screen now. Nothing to fill. I need to create a background for it. Versus the other one has a white fill. And if I were to see it, you know, in that whole like view, show transparency grid, then this is completely transparent and will absorb anything versus this one is filled with white and I need to grab those white portions and change them into a different color if what I want. And so the white fill has to turn into something else. So I've been choosing different green tones, but maybe I'll go with something like that. Okay. Does that make sense, you guys?
Yes.
Okay, give me some examples of what you're doing with your turtles, and then we'll ask me your questions, and whenever you're done, we'll call it a day. But this is a good time for questions because we still have a few minutes, and I'm not going to tackle the whole color deal. So let's keep painting. Actually, that should be a darker brown if it's in the bottom. That'll be an in-between brown. Maybe it'll be a little black now. There.
What are you going to name this file?
I called it turtle image trace, or image trace turtle. I call it whatever it means that you'll remember to go back to it, right? Like whatever it works for you to call it, to know to go back to it. So here oh, that was too dark of a brown. So I'm still working with the browns that I have in my thing. We haven't done color, but we're gonna have some fun with that next time. Oh, this gave me the same tone of brown everywhere. That's boring. Let's go for a little bit darker. I have an in between there. Okay. What color eyeballs do turtles have? Yellow? I don't know. I have no idea what eyeball a turtle has. I don't have, of course, it could be bright pink and not have it be realistic, but I'll keep giving it some. I have such a small amount of greens going on. Until I know how to show you how to make colors, I have to choose the greens that come in this palette. And maybe there. Ugh, it looks sickly. Maybe a light brown for the head. There you go. That works better. Anyway, but yeah, there's my two results. I'm going to keep putting this one out here so we're pretty clear that this one's transparent. And now I'm going to screen shoot this little bit right there. Put it in here. Plus, Yana. Oops. Now, what I would love is you guys can find a really nice, colorful image. I'm not very happy with the result of this. I thought the silly cat would be so good to work with image trace, but I'm not so happy because it didn't really show you all the potential of what you can do with colors, to say the truth. I was so happy with that example, and less than happy. Okay, so basically, the image trace, the difference between ignore white and do not ignore white choices. So one choice gives me white shapes, and then I can recolor the turtle. And the other version gave me no white shapes, only black lines. So the turtle fill is transparent. So it doesn't, I can't recolor it unless I make a background in the bottom that follows that shape, and then I can recolor the pieces. Image trace. Okay, so there are my two results of the image tracing. Okay. Anything you want to ask? We have 3 minutes. It's not enough time to start with something new, but you want to ask me, it worked, it didn't work. Can you re-explain something? Can you, anything? Nope. Are we all done with the day?
When will you put the video up? Tomorrow? I know it's late for you.
Yeah, no, for me, it's my mom's been waiting for me for dinner, but then when she goes to bed, then I put it up. I'll put it up today. If I don't happen to put it up today, then it'll be up tomorrow morning, which for you will be like 4 a.m. So by the time you wake up and look at it, I don't know, some of you guys might wake up at 4 a.m.
Perfect. This one was interesting. I want to review over and over.
Yeah, I'm going to try it with different images. I'm right now, I put the earth in that has some other colors, and I'm gonna image trace that one just because I was left with wanting to do an image that had more color. And I'm gonna go with 6 low fidelity photo. And let's see what I get out of that. So that's it's a low fidelity photo, so it does look a bit more like an illustration than the first one. But maybe I can give it a few less colors, so become a bit more comic booky. Let's see how it does the world in just 5% of colors. Because I want it to look more of a little computerized drawing. And then I'm going to lower the path so it's less faithful, and lower the corner. Oh, I forgot to turn off the preview. Lower the corners so that it becomes a bit more generic instead of so specific, right? So then I'm choosing to have it look more like a drawing or an illustration. Turn off the live preview, turn off the colors, tell it to include all the stuff, and snap the curves to the line so that it's less, and now I'm going to trace again. So by the time I'm done with these choices, I think I might have a simpler world map. So that, you know, really can't, from up close, it can't be looked upon as a photo. From once you zoom into it a little bit, this is clearly an illustration, you know what I mean? And I like that, and I can give it even fewer colors. And let's see what it does. That's my last attempt. And if you need to go, go, because the time is up, but I'm going to finish this one before I go. Yeah, so I think this is a good world from a photo, a satellite image of our world. I think that's a good illustration result of the world, don't you think? At least I think so. There's no way to confuse this with a photograph, but it's very faithful because it does come from a photograph. But I think that's a good one. So I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to expand. Boom. And now I have, I'm going to get rid of the earth, the black. Now I've got my little illustration of the world in here based on the original satellite image, which is one of the images that I have in our, so if I were to place it again, now you can see the actual difference between the photo. Oh, whoa. Place it again because I forgot to give it a right size. I'm just coming from the InDesign class where you can reset it so quickly, but in Illustrator you have to bring the place in. And now if I zoom in, look at all the detail of the satellite photo. Right? If you put one on top of the other, that's clearly a photo. And this is clearly an illustration. Does that make sense? Oops.
Yes.
So there you go. But yeah, I could get it even more curvy and more illustrative. But yeah, for something with so much detail, I think like all the detail in the ocean is gone and it's just 2 tones of blue and stuff like that. Okay. And I could have made it be only like 4 tones and then it was gone like white, blue, green, and brown. That would have been it. And then it's really, really limited. Bueno, ya terminé. Faltan 3 minutos para las 9, ya voy.
Diana, just to let you know that my Adobe account did deduct 2 points or debit my account 2 points.
Yeah, because you did 2 different credits, even though you got 6 results, the 3 results are still considered 1 point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It only counts it as 1. So here's what happened when I made it be only 3 colors, right? So it just had blue, white, and green. That's it. The 3 color world. Still looks pretty good. But here we go, 3 colors world versus, like 16 color world or something like that. All right. That's it. I will see you in some of you in other classes, but the rest of you I will see next Wednesday for our final Illustrator class, okay? Do work, put stuff in the Padlet. I love seeing what you do. Okay? Bye guys.
Good night.
Good night.
Night.